Gets a triple kill. That's exactly what Reunited need, and they are holding so well. 1 minute 40 left on the clock here on this first point, and it's not looking good for Creation Esports right now. That said, Lynx does have the dragon ready, and Artia is going to be ready with the die. But they don't have anything to sync with that dragon. Like, you generally need something to go with it. Like, I love the dragon surge combo, but they don't have a Zarya.
Exactly, and we need maybe we're gonna get a stun from Earthshatter, for example. Numlock is on 95% right now, but KOIB goes down. Numlock trying to stay on the point, but all of a sudden a lot of the support he had in terms of damage has disappeared. He gets taken out as well. Unfixed, still looking like he's the MVP as far as unanswered damage goes on this team. And Balutaja has actually been having quite a quiet game on Zarya, but quiet in the sense that it hasn't necessarily been the center of attention, but the support he's been providing his team has been absolutely fantastic so far.
And that Hanzo pick is instantly swapped out now for a Roto. Looks like they're ready to engage once more. Creation going right around the back of the point. They go through the hotel. Managed to get onto the point, so that's good for them. But there, Numlock drops the Earthshatter, but only finds KOB. Everyone else was barriered up right there. There's a Graviton Surge. Unfixed coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4 go down in that. And Unfixed is just left uncontested in the sky. There's a Res as well, picking everyone up for the defensive team. That offensive was completely nullified. 30 seconds left on the clock. They have to get there right now to stay in this.
This is looking so dominant, I have to say, from Reunited. Creation at the moment lacking just that little bit of cohesion. They're moving together as a team all right, but they're not dealing with the problems that Reunited are actually posing them. Unfixed has more or less gone unchecked. Kib has actually been doing okay on Reaper. He's been very, very quiet, just waiting in the back for his opportunities, but he's been able to do that because the rest of the team just haven't been challenged so far.
And Drakeus has already gone down to Unfixed as well, so Unfixed still finding that damage. Bromas is in the back, trying to find a tag with that high noon, but no one's on the point! No one's contesting the point. Bromas was just stood there with saying, hey, it's high noon, it's 12 o'clock, guys, but no one's telling the point. No one cares, McCree. No one gives a damn about the time. And they just lost that. That's a full hold out of Reunited. That's absolutely insane. It's very rare that we see that kind of thing in King's Row. King's Row is a map known for basically being relatively quick. You generally see 6-minute times, 5-minute times coming out for King's Row, not full holds. So that was insanely good out of Reunited. They are looking on point right now.
I was a little bit surprised to see that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Creation Esports actually has in the bag to try and come back from this, because nothing but a full hold now is going to allow these guys basically to try and take this map. I'm so impressed with Reunited. Creation have to swap it up. They're not playing particularly poorly on an individual level, but where they need to work themselves a little bit better, I say, is where they identified the strengths of the opposing team. Unfixed, we called him out a lot of times on the first half of this map. He just went completely unchecked, and as long as Creation go, hang on a second, this is where our problems lie, and they assign someone to deal with that, then they should be in a lot better place.
Yeah, and of course we've got to give a mention to KYB as well. Fellow Brit as well, I'm happy to say. Reunited actually has 2 Brits on it now, so Cruz is also English. So hey, UK players, even though the UK has become, the new NA alt, it's now UK alt. So thanks, Twitch. Love that. Love the fact that my country is now designated for bad decisions. But still, KYB picked up relatively recently, scouted off the ladder, and has been doing really, really well for Reunited as well. It's been a great pickup for them. He's been playing absolutely out of his mind. He was playing Genji earlier today, really put the team on his back for a little while on a couple of those maps that he played earlier, and looked really good doing it. That said, it looks like we are ready to go with the offensive lineup. So we do have KYB on Hanzo. I imagine that might just be for scouting, although he might stick with it. Mort on Mercy, Unfixed once more on the Pharah, Valutasia on Zarya, Winghaven on Reinhardt, and Cruz on the Soldier 76.
All right, here we go. I'm going to take a look at one of the soldiers. Cruz is going to get my love first. We'll see how much... Oh, dear. Well, he gets taken out very quickly by Bromas, who, by the way, is playing Junkrat. So a lot of damage going to get done from the backlines there. Valutaja doing a good job of getting some charge early on, but needs to be careful and halt straight back behind the bus. Let's take a look at what Bromas is doing, because right now he's almost single-handedly keeping the team back.
Yeah, I mean, Junkrat pick on defense on King's Row used to be fairly standard, was sort of beaten out by Pharah for a little while. It's interesting to see it come back here. It is a danger when you're playing it into a Zarya, because you do give a lot of free charge away, but meanwhile, the first push was kind of stalled up. They'd lost their tank very early. Cruz went down incredibly early as well. They tried to go up and over, but Unfixed goes down as well, so RTF finding a good pick there. Winghaven on the point just goes down instantly. Valutaja on very high charge, though, is advancing forward, and Mort's still in the air. There's the Resurrect, bring everyone back up. Winghaven is on the point, but they still kind of scattered out right now. Tuscan does take Valutaja down, but no, sorry, Valutaja was picked back up, sorry. It looks like there's the defensive res. Artia does find Cruz. Cruz does have the attack visor on. Can they get rid of him there? There's the defensive sound barrier coming out as well, and this could be a good cleanup. I hear Riptide coming in. It's going into the back, finds 2 targets. Mort especially goes down, and this could be a good defense from Creation right now.
This is absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, Cruz got completely shut down on his tactical visor. We were watching his view as well, and he more or less got hooked by Roadhog, and just a lot of that time on tactical visor got wasted. He didn't get a single kill. Lynx popped his straight afterwards and did a fantastic job. Absolutely stellar performance from him to pick off the remaining health of the team. So Reunited a little bit reset here, but don't forget, it's nothing but a full hold. They still have 2.5 minutes now to take the point, and there is the barrage. Unfortunately, getting completely and utterly taken out there by Roadhog, but not before getting 2 kills himself.
Yeah, good thinking there coming out of Dracaeus. Not Dracaeus, sorry. Good thinking out of Numlock. Drops the Ursula. Does buy them a little bit of space, but still the damage was done. KOB going on the back on this Genji. Oh no, Artia does pick him up, but Valitaja is on the point, on high charge. That Death Star laser coming out of Zarya dealing so much hurt right now. Point is ticking up, and Reunited looking well positioned to take a hold of it. Dracaeus stuck in the back, unfixed, finds him, picks him off, and now there's just one member left. It is poor Bromaz stuck on the trash mouse. He is locked away. Numlock coming in right now, trying to sort of buy a little bit of time. They do have to hold this even further. Valitaja already has another ultimate ready to go, buying even more space. Toxican has managed to find his way to the point, though, stalling things up. Artia on the Tracer also coming in nice and quickly, just trying to get to the point, buy even more space, because if they lose this, and it's looking like it's going to go any second now, Reunited will take this first map in convincing fashion.
Exactly right. They are a couple of seconds away, and they do manage to do it. So GG. Reunited, after a full hold on King's Row, managed to take the first point. Creation gave them a couple of things to worry about, but ultimately it wasn't enough, and play of the game is going to go to Unfixed. Absolutely no surprise there.
Yeah, and well deserved from him. He played absolutely... Well, he just played wonderfully all this time. There's the Graviton Surge. This is the Graviton Barrage combo. I love seeing it every single time. It's one of the oldest combos in Overwatch, and one of the ones that makes my heart sing, because it's just nice to see it when it's well executed. I also just like the Graviton... I like the... I've forgotten the term for it. The Graviton Strike, which is the Dragon Strike plus Zarya strategy. It's very good for a slow push, but I don't know. Pharah Zarya will always be sort of the winning combo in my heart. It's so stable, so good when you just have to take a point.
It is pretty painful. Graviton Strike is quite fun. I remember some older school combinations when you had Zenji or Genyata.
Yes.
Also lots of fun. And then, of course, you have the old Graviton Reaper. That's always great. Graviton Blossom, is that even a thing? If it isn't, it is now.
I guess we can.
So all sorts of fun combos. But that, you're right, that is more or less the traditional combo. Graviton Surge Barrage is just rather disgusting. You have to take out Pharah in the middle of the Graviton Surge as quickly as you can, because the moment that ultimate gets off for more than about half a second, you can rest assured most of your team is basically dead from AoE damage.
Yeah, I would go with Death Surge. Death Surge. That sounds good. It looks like we're deciding on the next map. It looks like they're saying Lijiang, but Lijiang is actually the 8th map, so it's actually technically not in the pool, I think.
Oh, this is interesting. Creation trying to go for a King of the Hill map, and then unfortunately, because they've been vetoed out, Reunited are just pointing out to them now that actually they can't go to Lijiang Tower, so Creation might have to do a little bit of soul searching right now and see what else they want to do, because Reunited have tactically banned every King of the Hill map, and Nunlocked is just acknowledging this now, so maybe he wasn't 100% prepared for it. But guys, we're going to take a quick 30-second break. We'll be right back after a word from eBettle. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a bit of water, and we'll see you on the other side. I do like the background music in the eBettle video. It's really catchy. I'm gonna go to sleep and I won't be able to get out of my head now. It's gonna be it's like it's so catchy. It's border. It's just gonna be on loop in my head.
Wonderful. Absolutely lovely. I can't watch Point Gibraltar though. Next map. So we did actually manage to get a map decision out of them. They have actually picked a map that is in the pool. That's kind of an important thing to do. So Watch Point Gibraltar, very interesting map. I actually really like Reunited on this map as well. They're very good at controlling the high ground on this map. So, and it's really important as well. I also like seeing how teams have adapted on that first point defense. So for those of you who don't know, the first checkpoint on this map is pretty much ignored. No one cares about it. It doesn't change the spawns. It doesn't change anything. So they just ignore it. There's sometimes a token defense, and Rogue especially are buggers for actually just going for like a full offensive on the first point of that. But
I love it. I love it.
But most teams just ignore it. They try and set up a crossfire defense, either in the server room or they try and take like the balcony around the sort of the big open area. So I'm interested to see how the teams sort of maneuver themselves around that. There's also lots of different approaches. Like I know Luminosity, for example, favor like a 2-sniper approach to this map. Meanwhile, you do see other teams with more sort of standard lineups. So I'm hoping maybe we will see some Widowmaker play. She did kind of drop out of favor for a little while, but I like seeing Widowmaker come out. Like she's incredibly swingy. She can get those key picks, and it's just a high skill hero. Like who doesn't like to see high skill heroes in the hands of these pros?
Yeah, that's very true. I think on Watchpoint Gibraltar on the first point, the main reason we don't see full offensive, it doesn't reset any of the spawn points or anything like that, but you also have to bear in mind that the defending team have an awful long way to walk back to continue their defense. So generally speaking, whenever we see a defending team going all out trying to stop an attacking team from taking the first point, it's either because they're YOLOing it up a little bit, or it's because they think they're better enough than the attacking team that they can afford to practice taking these out. And I suspect we're not going to be seeing that in the case of Reunited Creation. These are two very, very strong teams. Arguably number 1 and number 2 in Europe, as you said, Ohm. And I'm fully expecting these guys to just sit back, either in the server room or in the open air in that crossfire position above point number 2.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, these teams are incredibly good against each other. Like, so Europe as a scene is kind of an interesting one because right now there's no denying Envy is the best team in the world right now. And I'm going to claim them as a European team because they're like 5 Europeans and 1 American. They're in America, but who cares about that detail? They're a European team. I'm claiming them. This is a UK stream now, and I'm going to grab them up while I can. Also, I know that Taimu's been lurking in the chat as well and talking to people, so it's good to see him come out and watch this. But number 1 and number 2 in the EU's got to come down to just these two teams, and Europe is just such a melting pot kind of scene right now. Like all the teams are fairly evenly stacked, especially the top 3 have kind of got a little bit of a gap, but Northern Gaming Blue definitely coming up. There's a couple of teams that have been sort of making themselves known here and there. There's a couple of upcoming teams that I've got my eye on as well, like Pretz. Pretz have come out and they've actually looked really good as well. So there are a few teams out there that could sort of start inching into that top spot, but it's not like NA where there's very clear sort of delineation of these are the top teams. It's all kind of blurred together. But right now, Reunited looking so good. Apparently, by the way, the reason why we're still waffling on, we're not enjoying Sony Watch Point Gibraltar, and I'm going to call them out. I'm perfectly fine putting players on blast. Apparently, Winghaven is on the phone, so that's the reason why.
And it's not to me, by the way.
No.
Winghaven, you need to chill out, mate. Like, just calm down, reset. He just won a map, so he wouldn't be raging. It must be something else. Hi, Mom, I'm in the middle of a competitive game. Would you stop calling me? My God. That'd be great. But you don't call me anymore.
I can't wait to see these two teams play. Like I'm going to just put my own bias out there. I'm going to be unbiased during the cast because I like watching top Overwatch no matter what. But Reunited are a team that I've been following since pretty much the start. Mostly because of Cruz. Like I found Cruz very early during the beta. I was watching him play for a team that's long faded into the mists now, and then he moved on to I think it was Arcane Esports, and then he got picked up by Reunited, and I was super happy for him because I like watching British players get involved in the scene because hey, I am British and we don't have that many players, so I've got to follow the few that we have. And so just watching Reunited grow and adapt has been kind of nice to see, and they've been plugging away. They had like this curse for ages, absolutely ages, where they were just finishing second place constantly, and they finally seem to be breaking out of that. They won a few go-to tournaments, they've won a few other tournaments here and there, and they're starting to break free of that second place curse, beating out Creation every now and then, beating out Creation earlier today in 3-1 with a 3-1 result, and they're looking really good right now, especially on these payload maps.
So the one thing I would say is that Europe compared to the US, I think you're more or less spot on with your analysis there. I think in Europe, if you look at the top 6 or 7 teams, all of them can take maps off each other. Like, if I had to summarize it in a sentence. Whereas I feel like in the US, on NA, it's more like you have the top 2 or 3 teams, and definitely the top team in Envious, but it's really difficult for everyone below to even take a map off the top 2 or 3. So I feel like that's the way the scene is currently shaping up a little bit. What do you
Yeah,
reckon?
except maybe Northern Gaming Red. Like Northern Gaming Red are sort of my heroes this week. They took a map, they took a single map off Envious, and they're the first ones to do it in a long time. So,
Ooh.
like I'm excited for Northern Gaming Red. Of course, they won't be known as Northern Gaming Red for that much longer. I believe Northern Gaming are changing their sort of their branding. They're changing their team name after getting another sponsor, I think. So they will be changing that up a little bit. Also, Code 7, formerly known as Gale Force Esports, have been doing pretty well in North America. Europe is just all over the place. Europe's always been all over the place. Teams fracture, they reform, disband. IDDQD is sort of the big example here, where they were sort of number one team throughout the entire beta. Then a lot of them sort of, well, the two star players on that team do fracture off, go their own way right now. But the four core players of the team then go on, form Envious, reunite with their old friend Taimu, who's been lurking in the chat, and go over to America, join up with Tailspin, and become one of the best teams at Overwatch in the world. But
Easy
you're the
peasy.
two best teams in Europe preparing right now, and it looks like the defense is ready to go. So we do have reunited starting out on defense. We have Valutaja on Soldier 76, Winghaven on the Scientist, Winston, Mort on Mercy, KOAB on Reaper, Unfixed on the Pharah, and Cruz back on that Lucio.
I've been a little bit naughty. I've just shown the stream secrets on how to still go out beyond the limits of the map and check out the boats on the outskirts. So anyone who was paying attention in chat, you know now. Now you can see Reunited hanging back a fair bit, of course. The first point more or less being given up right now, just because they want that room to maneuver. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at Artia, who's being relatively aggressive on young Genji at the moment, and he's rather in the face of Reunited, looking to see if he can get a pick off very early on.
Yeah, they're just trading a little bit of damage back and forth, trying to get a little bit of an edge, and also just scanning out where the enemy team is positioned. Sometimes you see Hanzo get picked up just for that specific reason where the Sonic Arrow is, but here comes a full engagement. They just jump on the backline. Creation going deep right now. They do have that Diva, of course, that helps them do it, but Winghaven takes out Drakea, so no mercy for the offense right now. That's going to be absolutely huge. That means no resurrection as Unfixed scoops up Bromas. Mort actually takes Artia down, so Mercy taking out the Genji in a reversal of fates, and this is looking good for Reunited as they do hold up this first point in style. Only losing Mort eventually there to Numlocked, but that's a Winston. He's going to get a kill at some point before he goes down, just with the nature of that reliable damage he deals.
I think the overall assessment of that fight was overwhelmingly positive in favor of Reunited, but for some interesting reasons as well. If you take a look at the ultimate charges, Reunited is actually comfortably ahead. Dracaeus and Mort both have Resurrects available, sure, but if you look at the rest of the team, Reunited are more or less on the cusp of having 3 or 4 ultimates available, and it's still quite some ways away here for their opposition. So Creation need to pull something out of the bag, and starting with that was a pretty nice direct rocket hit from Bromas.
Yeah, that was really needed. Valataja popped the sights. He had everyone in his sights, and then a rocket just sailed in and killed everyone. But meanwhile, KYB just cleans up. Creation are going hard here. What the plan seems to be is to throw Diva and throw Winston right onto Mort and try and get rid of that Mercy as soon as possible so that Resurrect can't really take part in the battle. But it's just not happening. Mort's just too good at evading. He's too good at running away. People are giving him an out by just standing near the doorway on that lower ground so he can just run away. And this is looking so solid right now for Reunited. They do have the barrage ready to go. Death Blossom is also going to be up and running in a second. Numlock goes in once more, trying to chase down Valataja in the back, but oh my god, Bromas actually picks up 2 kills on the front line as well. There's just brawling absolutely everywhere. I don't sympathize with you on the camera right now as you're trying to find everything, but Unfixed drops a double kill, takes out Dracaeus and Toxic, both supports now stripped away, and this should be a nice easy cleanup for Reunited.
Yep, I'm just about managing on camera duty, slowly getting to where all of the action lies, zooming out where necessary. Winghaven coming back in, he almost gets Lynx, almost gets Artia, who does eventually go down. But unfortunately gets picked off himself, and once again we have Creation Esports pushed back, but they made good inroads there. They were threatening to take point number 2, a couple more pushes like that, and a small slip up from Reunited, and they will be able to capture it. They've still got over 3 minutes remaining.
Yeah, they have a couple of ultimates in the bag as well. High Noon is ready to be called, and Lynx is going to be ready as well with that Death Blossom very soon. They also, of course, have the Bro Shield on Toxicin, so that's going to be absolutely messing this next fight. But Reunited do force the issue, actually. Winghaven goes in deep. There goes Artia on the High Noon. Doesn't actually manage to find any targets. Unfixed is still in the sky, though, trying to land the damage. There's Attack Barrage as well coming out from Valataja. So sights have been called. He's raining damage down, and this is stalling up the push even more. Unfixed is still just getting so much free damage. No one is stopping Unfixed, and he's just going completely off right now, just landing rocket after rocket. They gotta deal with him, or he's just gonna take over this map like he did on the first one.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of deja vu almost. Unfixed doing a fantastic job holding up for his team. Generally speaking, as the Soldier 76 on the team, you kind of want to be hanging around on the top ledge here, or even poking up from behind there, or even behind the forklift if you happen to be on the ground floor. But your goal is to do as much damage from distance as possible. You don't need to expose yourself. You need to let your teammates do the work and basically say, if you do nothing about me and jump in, like Winston, for example, I'm going to get so much damage done over the course of a full team fight that we're going to win every time. That is basically what his position is right now.
Unfixed opens up and takes out Bromas. KOB is also chasing him in the back. He has a Death Blossom ready. Looks like Creation again going around trying to take control of the high ground, but they have to be so careful not to clump. Winston jumping in, getting so much cleave damage as well. KOB also takes out Dracaeus in the back. That's a huge loss. This offensive will be stalled out. I imagine they're just going to try and retreat, get out alive, and not blow any ultimates, because if they do, then Mort's just going to be ready to resurrect them. And Mort actually hasn't even needed his resurrect for a while. He's just not been required to use it. Lynx actually does take out Winghaven, so that's a good result for them at least, but they're still getting caught out in a kind of an iffy position right now as the fight does start to scatter. Bromas actually finding a kill. Numlocked also finding a kill, but there's the resurrect coming out. And KYB, can he find the Death Blossom? He does have it ready. He's just going to sneak his way out, though. Lynx actually managed to find a couple of kills. Bromas drops the barrage. Oh my lord, that's actually speed push. The Death Blossom going through, takes out 2 people. There we go. KYB finding what he needs. There's the resurrect, however. Can they pick something off the back of this?
Valutaja with Tactical Visor, but he's actually getting gunned down himself, and now we have a good offensive from Creation. It looks like they will be able to take the second point. It's going to be a little bit too far. Oh, nice direct rocket hit from Bromas there, but it's going to be a little bit too far for United to come back and defense. And Creation do manage to make it, and they reset the timer to roughly 2 minutes and 58 seconds. But that was a little bit anxious from them there. They don't want Reunited holding them again after what happened on map number 1. They want to show us what they're made of here, and of course, every second counts from this point onwards, because if Reunited are able to capture it faster, it's going to be ever so slightly awkward for these guys. They're going to have to hold for a very long time.
Yeah, and this transition right here is so important. As the offensive team, you want to maintain a little bit of offensive tempo. You've got to sort of take control of the high ground. If you let the defensive team set up, it can be so difficult to displace them. RTF fires off the high noon. Lynx also drops in with a Death Blossom. Doesn't find anything with it, though. That's a lot of value lost. And Winghaven actually takes him out. So the scientist getting the better of Lynx are there. Bromas still on the high ground. Valutaji actually swapping into Tracer as well. Gets numlocked on the back. And this is actually looking kind of bad right now for Creation. They are losing pace quickly. Dracaeus goes down. There's the Mercy. So they're not going to be able to bring anything back as Bromas is trying to get rid of Mort. But Mort fires off the resurrect in good time, and this should be Reunited stabilizing on the hangar phase.
Exactly. Now, this is a reasonably good rule of thumb for anyone who happens to be observing Overwatch. When Valutaja switches to Tracer, you listen. So watching that, he took out 3 or 4 players, actually, not quite on the trot, but basically in unanswered damage. And that's because everyone was looking out in the skies. They were going, where's Bromas? Hang on a second. Where's Lynx? Is Artio there with the high noon? Do I have to worry about him? And in the meantime, it's just non-stop damage coming out of Tracer.
KOAB. Oh god, Trace actually finds Dracaeus as well, so Mercy is already down. That's bad news bears right now for Creation Esports. They've got to be so careful. As Valutaja finds a second target in Bromas as well. This Tracer is just going unanswered. They have Artia on McCree. Like, Artia's McCree is literally one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, although I'm sure Valutaja himself would have something to say about that. But you'd expect Artia to be the one trying to lock it down. Oh, Seb, numlocked, does drop an Earth Shadow, but doesn't really find any much value with it. He finds Unfixed, but that's just not going to be enough. There's just nothing to follow that up with. You've dropped an ultimate, but you've killed one person who's going to respawn and get back in good time. There's just no fighting off the back of it. So now, really good positioning right now for Reunited. 1 minute left on the clock. They have ultimate advantage, I would say, right now as well. KOIB's looking for kills, and Cruz is ready with that bro shield.
Yeah, we might actually get a full hold here in the shuttle, which would be rather impressive. We'll see if we're able to do that. I'm taking a look at Bromas right now. He's looking for ways in as far, but unable to even get into the room, let alone anything else. And we now have a more or less a desperation move moving on in, but off the low ground there, so not exactly the best in terms of positioning. KYB is boosted at the moment. He's looking for a potential opportunity to use Death Blossom. He does now, more or less right on top of the point, but gets absolutely no kills and whiffs it. Bromas now revived with ultimate available.
Yeah, Unfix is coming up and over, trying to find what damage he can. There's the defensive res. Linkser is there with the Death Blossom. Doesn't manage to find the results he wants with it, however, so will just be sort of battered away there. Winghaven buying a little bit more time, and this is looking good for Reunited. They're fighting 6 versus 3 right now, basically. There's just a couple of people left on Creation. Cruz finishes off Linkser there, does get the cleanup shot as Unfix comes up and over, dropping rocket after rocket, takes down R-Tier. Can he find even more kills? Dracaeus is actually out in the open. KOB and Unfix hunting him down. He finally goes to Winghaven, just scooping up that kill there with that reliable damage. Numlock now trying to stall for as long as he guerrillally possibly can. Because he's not humanly possible, right?
No,
he's a gorilla. You've got to respect that, right?
Gorilla or gorillally?
Gorilla Lily.
Gorilla Lily. I like it. All right. And we do have the full hold in the shuttle room, ladies and gentlemen. So 40, and I believe the tiebreak is going to be distance, right?
It's distance, yep. So they just have to push further than Creation did. And honestly, Reunited looked like they could do it there. And look like they can do it pretty damn well. You can see like the golden square, the shining golden square out in the middle of the hangar. If you can just zoom there as quickly as you possibly can. It's absolutely beautiful. That's all they have to push to. It's literally right under the nose of the shuttle. There are some interesting things in those fights that I want to point out as well. Some really good positioning using the Lucio, for example. So you see, like, death. You saw this actually happen twice in those fights. Like, KYB would drop a death blossom, but Toxicin was there on the Lucio. He switches to speed boost. Everyone just pulls away from it nice and safely. Then you also saw Linksa basically do the same thing, fires off a death blossom, but Lucio's just standing there, plays some funky tunes, and everyone just gets the hell out of dodge. Doesn't take any damage, and it just blows the ultimate wasted. Unfortunately, doesn't get any value off the back of that. But meanwhile, it looks like Reunited have decided on a fairly aggressive strategy, it looks like. So the KYB running the Genji. I saw KYB's Genji earlier today, and it was absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to be excited to see what happens with that.
Yep, Reunited are looking to try and get this done in a push or two, basically. They want to be ultra aggressive. They have Genji, they have Reaper out very, very early on. Velutaja on Soldier is always a joy to watch from the back lines. He isn't necessarily going to get 6 kills on the trot or anything like that, but he will be successfully doing so much damage on a very consistent basis. So, as far as Creation are concerned on defense, Toxicin is going for an early Tracer, which is quite interesting. And we have Bromas on Junkrat, which is always a joy to watch. But rather than go for the McCree, Artia has gone on Roadhog to complement Lumlocked on Reinhardt. So we've got the double tank composition with Tracer coming out here from Creation.
Yeah, that Tracer absolutely fascinates me. It's very rare you'd see a defensive Tracer being run on this map. She's just not good at navigating up and down to the high ground, for example, and especially when the enemy team usually runs a Winston. Winston's just going to have a whale of a time just getting a lot of easy damage in there. We do see the Junkrat spam coming up and over, and actually Mort might get picked up here by Lynx. Does go down, does eat a grenade, actually just caught it, unfortunately. So down goes Mort, so won't have a res for this next fight, but not too big a deal. He will respawn, probably just by the time this payload actually moves to that first checkpoint, so not really a big issue right there. It looks like where you tabbed out, says Kib in chat. Oh boy. The BM.
Ouch.
The BM.
Well, the mind games have begun. It's actually quite a good pick-off. Not because you don't get a res immediately in the first fight, but just because you're not actually charging your ultimate for just that much longer. Kib, though, he's moving on in. Oh, he gets taken out by Lynx, but he actually got a couple of kills right there. Unfixed moving in with Reaper. Takes out Numlock. There's the revive coming out from Dracaeus there. And you can see Mort's currently on 53%. Dracaeus already used his revive. So that is the difference in ultimate charge from that early pickup.
But meanwhile, Unfixed has just had a whale of a time. He's had all these big meaty targets to rain damage into with those Hellfire shotguns. Just found so much hurt. And even with that Resurrect, they just got swept up twice. There was just no good answer to deal with Unfixed. And now they have pretty much every ultimate they could ever want. And Valataja and Winghaven are going to be ready to go in a moment. Kib goes out with the Dragon Blade, has found people in a tiny little room. Doesn't actually get killed by the hook either. He's trying to find people. Oh, no, gets taken down by Lynx that just slapped in the face of that Hellfire shotgun. But Winghaven actually comes in and cleans up on the back with that Gorilla as Reunited trying to take charge of the map. They just have to get to the golden square, remember? That's the objective here.
Primal Rage now being engaged from Winghaven, trying to bat everybody off of the path of the payload so that it actually pushes far enough.
Meters.
It's not very far to go now, and it looks like GGs are being caught. Oh, hang on a second. Toxicin had other ideas there, but it's not going to be enough. And the payload does reach its destination, so that is the GG on map number 2. Reunited are going to go 2-0 up in this best of 7, and I have to say, that was pretty quick.
That was really quick. Reunited have just been looking on point at the moment. They've just been outplaying pretty much every single aspect of what they've been doing. Unfixed has been having a whale of a time. KYB looked okay. He looked really good earlier. Hasn't quite shined as much, but I think that's just because Unfixed is stealing the show, to be honest. Unfixed has been getting kill after kill after kill after kill. There we go. Player of the game goes to a Mercy, of course. Just gets a good resurrect off. Unfortunately, that happens a little bit too often for my taste. Might happen a little less on the next patch, but...
Are you not a support main, then?
I'm not. I might become one with Anna though. Like, ooh,
yeah?
I do like that support sniper. I really like Anna.
I love Lucio.
She's super fun.
Lucio and Soldier. It's like I don't know. It's just a good, solid base to work from. I enjoy playing Lucio because when you have a good game, you know that everyone likes you.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's really like Lucio will never sort of go out the meta as well. The reason why he's picked, of course, is he has that, especially in pro level meta at least, is he has the speed boost, right? No one else can bring that to an entire team. It's so powerful for engagement. You just run in at turbo speed, you get just so much value off it. You can't disengage from it unless you have a Lucio yourself, of course. And so that's so important. And oh my lord, we're going to Russia.
I saw this.
Volskaya.
I saw this in the team chat just before the play of the game, and I was like, oh yeah, we're going Volskaya for map number 3, folks. Reunited are going to be taken to a control point map. Assault map? Assault map? Blizzard terminology? Assault map. But I'm going with control point because it's double control point.
Yep.
All good, all good. Very excited for this to happen. Now, you mentioned before, Volskaya is one of those maps where it can either snowball really quickly, because if you built up a lot of ultimate and you're able to take out your opponents on the first control point, usually you have ultimate advantage to immediately push into point number 2, and you end up winning the game straight away in the same push, even though your opponents spawn really close to that control point. So that's kind of scenario number 1. Scenario number 2 is where the defending team does successfully hold. They build up ultimates themselves, and then there's all sorts of crazy crossfire shenanigans, but it's not as open as Hanamura. There are an awful lot of back entrances and alleyways in Volskaya coming onto the second control point, so what you end up happening is you just have like a massive team brawl that's like 1 or 2 isolated heroes fighting here, there, and everywhere all at once, and the map can seriously drag on as a result of it. So generally speaking, it tends to be one or the other, but not often in the middle.
Yeah, and being honest with pro level play, it feels like the pros haven't quite sold Volskaya yet. Like for the longest time, no one was running 2 control points. We didn't have time bank systems, so generally the matches would just last like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It wouldn't be very exciting to watch, and so tournaments just weren't running them. Now, however, with time bank, it goes for a lot longer, and the matches are just a lot more intense, and so it feels like teams are still trying to sort of figure this out and solve it. We see all sorts of wacky things coming out. I know North America especially just tried all kinds of stuff to make this work. We saw Maze, we saw Bastions coming out.
I love May on Volskaya point 2. It's so much fun when you have a pro team with a very, very big coordinated push, and then a wall just appears. And, also, possibly contender for most annoying and most disruptive ultimate in pro-level play.
Yeah, and being fair, like it's a time bank system, right? So time matters, and the ability to stall people out is so important in this. You do see, like, I do remember when we didn't have the 1 hero limit and control point was around, the go-to strategy literally became 5 divas and 1 soldier or just 1 damage dealer, and you just send the divas out 1 by 1 just to stall for as long as possible. And it was basically effectively impossible to remove. And I heard theorycraft going around that you could kind of try and do the same thing with May. So I'm going to be curious to see how these teams set up. I do know that Reunited, for example, do like sort of taking the back high ground to the sort of the right side overlooking the point, and that's normally where we see these teams try in position, but it could be all different. Like I'm unfamiliar with what's been going on in scrims right now involving these control point maps, and it's important for teams to practice them because hey, these maps are right now, they're here to stay.
I predict no Symmetra. There you go. That's my bold prediction. Although, funnily enough, we have in the past seen Symmetra place teleporters sort of in the room by control point 1 in the days where teams were actually able to hold it. But right now, the game has evolved so that Volskaya is being played so darn quickly that that's absolutely not an option anymore. So, once upon a time, that statement wasn't as ridiculous as you'd think.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you're playing to hold the first point, and Reunited actually used to be buggers for doing that. They used to do it all the time, where they would actually hold... I have very fond memories of a match during beta where Volskaya ended up in the map pool somehow. They didn't manage to ban it out. They used to have, like... We used to play what we call, like, map ban dodge, where, you know, one team would try and not ban the control point maps, forcing the other team to do it. And we ended up with Volskaya in a final, and Reunited actually did a full hold on that map and actually stopped Creation pushing it at all. It was a major source of embarrassment back then to just get full hold on Volskaya because it's such an aggressive map. Happens a lot less these days because teams are just a lot better at attacking, and it is sort of an offensively favored meta right now, at least with how things work out. So we are expecting this to go back and forth pretty consistently. What I'm mostly interested in is how long can they hold the first point, and then that transition to the second point. Can they actually stall up there? Because once the first point starts going, the run back is so long that you really can't try and contest it.
Yeah, that's very, very true. We need to keep the momentum going whichever way this goes, rather. Numlock now moving out. It looks like the entire team are going towards the left-hand left-hand side, staying as long as possible to give them cover. I'm going to go ahead and go into third-person view so you can see where the team are actually moving out to. And they were fading a little bit. They were going to go up to that ledge, but it looks like they've changed their minds. And unfortunately, the shields have actually been destroyed in the meantime for Numlock, so ever so slightly awkward. Valutaj's view is an excellent one to follow right now because he is providing an awful lot of covering fire. Numlock now moving the other way, the entire team going to the right. Bromas on top getting a good vantage point. Are they going to be able to get the kills they need?
Unfix has got a Riptire ready to go as well. Unfix has been doing so much damage. I do like this positioning though from Creation. Gives them a good vantage point to look over the point and gave them a really good attack angle. But it looks like Reunited are actually going to try and chase them down. Unfix finds Lynx, so down goes the Zarya, an important tanking piece removed, although Bromas actually cleans up Winghaven on the point as well. Cruz tries to force back as well. Meanwhile, we do have Artier just hunting down targets. Can he get the damage he needs? Yes, he will take Cruz down. This is good stuff for Creation right now. I imagine...
Beautiful. I mean, Artier has... This is like, he's close to his dangerous best. He's just had 3 one-on-ones in a row and won them one after the other, mate. He is absolutely on top of it, but he needs the rest of his team to bring it to life as well. Graviton Surge is ready for Lynx. He's actually doing a really good job supporting the rest of his team as well. There are 4 ultimates out of 6, and here we go. We're charging straight to the second point. Straight after the first one was captured. So we're going to get to see this potential strategy in action right now.
And here we go. There's a High Noon immediately just keeping people off the point. There's a Graviton Surge ready to go. Bromas finds Mort as well, so no Resurrect is going to come out. KYB trying to get into the back. Don't imagine he's going to have much luck with Artier there. Artier bringing out his Pocket McCree. Artier, a legend of McCree play. Definitely one of the best in the world, if not the best. I had the misfortune of meeting him on the PTR. Trust me, that was not fun. It looks like Creation will take this in excellent time. However, that's kind of what you get out of Volskaya. This is what we're talking about. When you have those ultimates to snowball the first point, it's just so quick and so difficult to get back on it. Unfortunately, I think Reunited just fought a little bit too long. They could have done with either backing off very quickly or just trying to find ways to die as fast as they could. Although maybe Creation were just intentionally keeping them alive. Who knows? Because when you don't get respawns, in good time, you will not be able to set up on that second point, and it's so easy for the other team to just storm right in.
When the teams actually move in, I mean, what do you do as the... So here's a question, Ohm, because we've seen in competitive level play, like, a lot of massive momentum stomps, right? Really, really quickly from point 1 to point 2. As the defending team, if you lose point 1, your strategy obviously isn't to roll over and die. What do you do to maximize your chances of being able to hold the second point?
Well, I think you've got to know when to let the first point go. Like, the moment it starts slipping, you just cannot afford to try and hold it for too long. You've got to just say, okay, we cannot manage that. We're going to just stake our claim on the second point. Because you have the nearby spawn, you're going to be able to hold it much longer. There's much better chances of making it a scrappy fight where you can reinforce much quicker. The other team has, of course, that long run. So I think you've really got to do that. That said, I think Reunited are in actually a pretty good position right now. They bought themselves like a good extra minute of time that you wouldn't otherwise expect on this first point. If they do manage to roll over this first point, I think they could be in a good place right now.
Well, you've also got the situation where if you know when to let the first point go, your ultimate charge is, which people don't talk about nearly as often as they should, is more or less based on the damage you do to other players. So if the defending team vacate the first point earlier and fewer of them die, you're doing less damage to them and you're getting less ultimate charge off the back of it. So maybe that evens the gap between the teams for point 2?
Yeah, I definitely concede that logic. Like, you've just got to be so careful of not getting caught in a position where you're respawning, but the enemy team is speed boosting right to your front door. Like, when you start getting to that area, it becomes really problematic. That said, this is a really offensive, aggressive position from Creation right now. They're standing right in the choke point, trying to get as much damage as they can. It looks like Reunited are ready to go.
KYB being very sneaky. He's gone the back route, the shortcut with Genji. We managed to catch out on screen. Roadhog sees Genji. Can't do anything about it right now. They're turning around, waiting for the big fight to happen. Toxicant absolutely in the middle of everything is now, so I'm going to be checking him out as Creation moves on to try and be as aggressive as possible. Very, very tricky situation to be in. They're actually just going to be moving on back.
Yeah, so Reunited ended up in a really bad place. Unfortunately, they had to deal with a Reinhardt in a closed room, and that's a bull in a china shop. Numlock just swung away, dealt so much damage, and basically took all of Reunited down in a big way. That said, we do have Unfix coming in the back, so Reunited are running double flanker right now, and it looks like they're trying to force fighting absolutely everywhere, with Cruz also on the point. 3 people trying to take it.
Yeah, and this is a divide and conquer strategy from Reunited right now. We have Unfixed on Tracer, we have Kib on Genji, forcing the Resurrect on the point. If you take a look at the position of the heroes of Creation right now, they're basically entirely uncoordinated, and that's going to be allowing Reunited to take the point here.
Yeah, that's a really good time out of Reunited. They've managed to make it in basically 2 pushes. I think that was a little bit faster than Creation managed, but Creation can actually afford to try and set up on this point. We do see Unfix actually charging forward, trying to put a little bit of pressure on, but meanwhile, Creation have managed to sort of make it to a defensive position at the very least. That said, KOIB, I think, is going to be the one to watch in the next fight. He has Dragon Blade ready to go.
Oh, and we have a Mei coming out, so just like we said before, we've got, hopefully, the Ice Walls coming in to try and stall as long as possible. We have the Sound Barrier coming out from Lucio as well. Link's doing his best to try and mess around from the high ground, but we have Kib here saying absolutely no dice to that, and he's going to be slicing and dicing, but hasn't been able to find Mei so far. Gets Mercy, though.
Yeah, that Dragon Blade just dealt so much damage, and Unfix coming in on the back as well, just helping with that flanking hurt, just that mobility, and it looks like, oh, it's so close. There's 5 seconds in it between both teams.
Wow.
So it looks like Reunited a little bit slower, unfortunately, but it's going to go back and forth time and time again. That's just how this map goes, and especially with the ultimate advantage, KYB finding the hurt he needs, and unfortunately Mei couldn't just stall it out long enough as well. But I'm going to be curious, like, this is what we mentioned earlier in the cast, how do the teams now adapt? They've seen how they both defend and attack with each other. How are they going to change their strategy? How are they going to make it so that they don't run into the same issues as before?
All I can hear in my head right now is, I flip my point back and forth, and it's your fault. It's entirely your fault. So yeah, this is really, really close between both teams. 5 seconds in it at the moment on Volskaya, and this is the beauty of this map. We were talking about it earlier. These teams have now played a round each on Volskaya, so they're at 2 points apiece, and we get to see how they're going to actively reset their strategy. Creation actually were a little bit slower than they could have been, because if you remember, they actually went around the left, and then Numlock went, hang on a second, no, we're going to go back to the right, and it was their second push when they came around to the right that they were able to capture point 1, so they could have potentially been half a minute faster there. I'll be interested to see what happens this time around.
Yeah, I think the man to watch with this defensive strategy that Reunited are trying to run is Unfixed. That Junkrat is just so good for stopping these coordinated pushes. He just deals so much damage, will blow through the barrier, and I know that Mort was just pumping that damage amp into him as well, making him deal so much hurt. I think he actually put his trap as well in that little garage pathway, so the trap will stop that push and slow it down if they try and go that route. I imagine they're going to try and take the same pathway they took before, however. It worked before, and if Reunited are running the same strategy, I think they're trying to hope that it works this time. Although it looks like Winghaven, no, Winghaven's just going back to the rooftop. I thought he might actually try and cut that off and sort of hold that little bridge, but it looks like he's not going to.
Alright, so we have the teams moving out now very, very quickly now from Numlock, seeing a sense of urgency from Creation Esports. They're definitely going on the right-hand side, so opposite side to where Junkrat actually set up the trap, and we're actually going for the upper ground here. Now, this is interesting because they're directly facing Kib right now, but he gets entirely taken out straight away. What is Unfix doing in the meantime? Oh my god, he's still finding ways to deal all of the hurt.
Yeah, when you start getting into these close little rooms, then Junkrat just sort of starts giggling maniacally, doing so much damage. Lynx gets cleaned up in the back there as well. This is looking good for Reunited as they do hold that first time and did find a huge amount of hurt. And Lynx, not Lynx even, Unfixed is ready to go with a Riptide. He just deals so much damage that he's going to have that ready to go. And that's going to shatter any kind of, I don't know, clumped up push if the tire can make it there. Of course, sometimes it's a Sonic tire. Bromas doesn't make it across the... Bromas got knocked off something. Where did Bromas fall off? I totally missed that. That's
slightly awkward. Hang on. Oh, never mind.
No, Bromas.
When trying to spectate, it goes off the edge of the map. I wonder if he got knocked off the edge by, No, it wouldn't be by Reinhardt, because it's effectively a suicide in the kill feed. Honest answer, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and they are back, and it looks like Creation are trying again. They're just going straight through the middle this time. Toxican does manage to get onto the point, but they haven't managed to dislodge Reunited's position. Reunited are actually in a really nice place right now for just dealing so much hurt. Though Toxican still capping the point slowly. Winghaven does come along to knock him off the point. Bromas has actually got set up in a good place, but he's kind of isolated as well. He's raining damage in from above, trying to find what hurt he can. There goes the ultimate from Numlock, though. Beautiful, beautiful Shadow. Finds Valitaji, will take him off, and Bromas has everyone in his sights here. Love this position for Soldier 76. He's got the high ground, doing good.
Yeah, this was, it started off a little bit dicey, to be honest, for Creation Esports, because it looked like Toxican was on the point, not doing an awful lot, and the rest of the team were kind of disengaged, but as soon as they all got onto the point, everything was okay again. Artia now trying to push everyone off with a Deadeye, and it looks like the point will successfully be contested here by Creation Esports.
Yeah, though, interestingly, Lynx actually fired up a Graviton Surge. I think he was just trying to deny any extra stalling that I think it was Valataji could have done. So he does fire up the Graviton Surge, does use a big ultimate for that, and this might give Reunited a bit of a look in. Winghaven actually, crucially in my mind, has that whole hog ready to go. He will be able to use that to sort of stall out Numlock, to push a little bit. Will use it to be able to sort of blow people back and try and buy a little bit of space. There goes the whole hog, but he is taking a huge amount of damage here.
Yeah, if you take a look at the ultimates, guys, Reunited is actually equal, if not better than Creation Esports right now. So this is going to be a little bit different to the first time we played this map. And all of a sudden, this isn't an entirely... this isn't a situation where we basically just steamroll on to point number 2. Bromas goes down to the Riptire, and KYB has got his ultimate available. We're waiting for the Dragon Strike. Hang on a second. Artia back with the high noon.
Yeah, Artie is just going to zone people away. Does find unfixed with that, however, so good results there. And there's the Resurrect coming out. 3 people now alive on the point. This is just tying in the bag. I will give Numlock a shout out. He found a really good Earth Shadow there. Basically bought a lot of space for his team. KYB, though, goes out with the Dragon Blade. Finds 1, finds 2, finds 3. A huge amount of damage coming out for him. Dracaeus needs cleaning up. Down he goes. Now it's just Toxic left. This is good for Reunited. This is time in the bag because it takes a long time to get back here. And time is everything on this game mode.
Oh my god, that was disgusting to the max. Beautiful play there. First from Unfix with the Riptire, taking out Bromas to begin with, and that meant that there were fewer flanking options for Creation Esports. Then, absolutely astounding Sushi Blade coming in from Genji there, taking out 4. Mei doing her best to stall as long as possible on top of the point. But right now, for the second push, Creation Esports are looking relatively strong. The damage in terms of time, though, it's already been done, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's the Blizzard as well on the point. Numlock actually manages to last through it. KOB's actually swapped onto the Gorilla. Doesn't find a lot of good damage there. And this is actually looking really good again for Reunited. They have bought themselves a huge amount of time. The kill feed is going in their favor, and they are holding once more. Down goes KOB. Unfortunately, Toxic does clean him up. But this, again, like, Cruz is just staying on the point. Oh, no, gets sniped up by RTA. Just lands a headshot. RTA now calling out the time. What time is it? It's high noon, kids. Winghaven goes down. Unfixed now. Just in a duel with RTA. But RTA is so good at these duels. Will finally take the point.
So,
might have done it.
What went wrong for them there? Because at the start of that engagement, it actually looked quite good going into it for round 2 for Creation Esports. But Reunited have turned that into a second hold here, and that is absolutely massive for them. Time bank, 3 minutes 30 seconds, and counting down now for Creation. Yeah,
this is looking really good. There's a self-destruct, but I imagine they're just going to stay on the point. They have Numlock there with the barrier. Unfixed actually gone on to Bastion, so trying to rain what damage you can in the well. Winghaven desperately stalls the match. And, it's so close right now. But it looks like Reunited are getting in the favor. There's the Graviton Search, however. Lynx raining damage in. Does find the hurt he needs. Bromas puts a Pulse Bomb in there for the slam dunk kills. Cruz, though, in the Icebox, just caught him on his own, buying even more time. Just 3 minutes left on the clock. Now, it is interesting with time bank that under 2 minutes is where it really starts to get relevant, because the time bank will reset to 2 minutes as long as there's time on the clock. But that's huge. They've bought themselves so much extra time here, and that could be absolutely pivotal when we start ticking the timer down.
Completely right. And it's 2 minutes and 41 seconds, was it, remaining? So an awful lot of time bought. 251 bought by Reunited there. An excellent defense from them. And this is going to mean that Creation Esports have an uphill battle. They now have to hold Reunited for even longer. And don't forget, that's a full 5 minutes extra they have to hold them right now. 7:53 plays 2:51.
Yeah, I imagine if what they really have to be careful of here is losing control of the second point. I imagine they're going to have to play either really, really hard on the first point and just hope that they can stall that for as long as possible, and then just, I don't know, pray that the transition goes into their favor, which is really difficult to do on Volskaya. The tempo is just so much in the attacker's favor once that first point flips that, I don't know, I just imagine you try and hold the second point as hard as you can here and try and go off the back of that, because I think if you're trying to contest the first point, it can go so badly in so many ways, and all Reunited need is one good engage, and then they'll just take the entire map, and then they'll have a huge advantage going towards the end of the time bank.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that advantage in the long term going towards the end of the time bank that's really going to kill them. It might not look too much right this second, but it's really going to bite them a round or two from now when they're actually playing with several minutes less, and all they have to do is stall instead of win. And that's when you get situations where teams go, well, technically your composition was never going to win the fight, and you go, well, it doesn't have to win the fight, it just needs to stall you for a minute or two. And that's where you get to see the maze used to absolutely destructive effect, shut teams down with this time bank system.
Yeah, you'll see the Maze come out, Reaper, Diva, Bastion, all these kind of, no, not the Reaper so much, but fairly uncommon picks coming out. But we do see the team coming out there as there is a siren going off outside. That's the alarm that the timer is ticking down for Creation right now. And it looks like they're just jockeying for position. Again, Creation with a fairly aggressive position on Numlock. KYB goes straight in, however, finding a lot of cleave damage. Winghaven actually finds Toxkin immediately. This is looking good for Reunited, though Lynx does get a nice juicy kill for himself there.
Yeah, we definitely did need the more coordinated effort coming out there from Creation Esports, but losing 2 heroes very early on is going to be a frustrating situation for them, and I think they actually have to give up the first point right now. Artier is making his best of it, and the reason they're not giving it up is, frankly, because of the time that Reunited has set for them. They can't afford to give anything up. They have to take the risk, and they have to just win the team brawl. There is no other option for them, otherwise the time bank will let them down.
Well, Bromas find a huge amount of value as well. They managed to find a really good position, managed to get a flashbang on 2 targets and just cleaned up 2 of the main damage dealers for Reunited. But Unfixed in such a strong position right now on the high ground. Soldier 76 has people in his sights. Toxicin goes down. Valortage gets Bromas, and this looks like the first point could be going any second, though. Cruz gets hooked by Artie, so will go down there. But meanwhile, there's just no one left on the point. And imagine, oh god, there's a poor Reinhardt. Numlock just locked in the back here. Might try and stall. He's probably hoping to die as soon as possible. Maybe get a kill on his way out. There he goes. And Lynx actually runs back, and Dracaeus on the point doesn't have a resurrect. Not going to be able to bring anyone. Well, he did have the resurrect, but got greedy with it, I guess, and didn't find anything. This is looking so good for Reunited right now.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that, because at the end of the day, that basically fed some extra ult charge for Reunited. I actually personally disagree with that just a little bit, but never mind. Winghaven with a huge Earth Shatter to start things off. Let's go ahead and check that out to start. Bromas at the moment, he dies with a full ult available, unfixed. Trying to do as much damage from behind as possible. There are 2 ultimates available on the side of Creation Esports, though, and the sound barrier now being used on the offensive team. Is this going to be the nail in the coffin?
Yeah, there's a tempo res, just keeping Reunited in the fight, just as a response to the other res. And Unfixed is just in such a good position, getting so much damage out with Valutaja in turn. Reunited take an excellent time. And now you can see very clearly, the teams are tied up 4-4 in points, but that time difference is so huge right now in Reunited's favor. This is looking so good for them. They could be going 3-0 up in this series very soon, unless Creation pulls something very special out in the coming defense.
I want to see something very special. I'm looking forward to something very special. It's also really cool to see the team switching up their strategies. So from push number 1 to push number 2, even though Creation have a lot less time in the bank, you can see the differences between them moving left and right and thinking about their attack routes into the first point. Similarly, Reunited, the way they defended was actually really, really nice on the second time around. Even in their defense, they've been very aggressive in singling out heroes and taking them down. So often you'll see Tracers, you will see Reapers, you will see Genjis moving around the back line sometimes to sort of mess up the coordination of the attacking team. And I think that's actually been Creation's weakness. I don't know what you think, Ohm, but I feel like whenever 1 or 2 heroes has been messing around with the Creation back line, the rest of the team just don't stick together nearly as much. And that's the opening that Reunited have been using to prize them apart.
Yeah, it just feels like Reunited are just a little bit sharper today. They're just a little bit more on form. And when you start dragging the enemy team apart and pulling them into these 1v1 fights, these 2v1 fights, I think the only exception is Artier, who seems to reliably win 1v1s.
Oh, he wins 1v5s, mate. Yeah. That's no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a phenomenal McCree. He's just terrifying to play against, trust me. But when you just start seeing, basically, especially KYB and Valutaja going into the backline, they just start winning fight after fight after fight, and the tempo just completely shifts in Reunited's favor, and then they just start taking over the map. That said, it looks like an interesting strategy coming out here for Creation. Looks like Lynx is going to be running the Genji. Going to be curious to see if he sticks with the team or if he goes for the flanking option. Looks like he's just going to be running with the team, however.
All right, so Genji might be trying to do a little bit of divide and conquer themselves. Note that there's no Reinhardt, so there's no massive shield available. It's just Winston with the bubble on top, and then moving straight on in. Bromas takes out Winghaven very, very early on, who manages to get a pick-off on Numlocked as well. Link still in the thick of the action, but he's sitting back a little bit, trying to do as much damage as possible now, reflecting some of those Junkrat shots and trying to get himself on the point. Where is Bromas and what's he doing? Because he now has Death Blossom available. He's looking to be on the point. Is he going to use it? He is indeed. Oh no, unfortunate timing, because everyone is invulnerable when Mercy's bringing them back.
Yeah, that was really, really well brought out by Mort. He just managed to get the resurrect, but still, this is a really good time coming out of Creation. This is what they needed, just to be super aggressive, manage to take this point, and hopefully they can take the next point in similarly good time. Lynx does have the Dragon Blade ready, for example, so that's going to be vital. Reunited doing the wise thing. They're just letting that first point go. They're just going to set up on the second point and be ready and waiting for it. Unfixed has a Riptire ready to go. That might buy them a little bit of extra time, as the timer does tick under that 2-minute point. As long as it doesn't reach 0-0, now Creation have a little bit of wiggle room. The timer will reset to 2 minutes every single time, and until that 0-0 is reached. Reunited just have to stall for as long as possible.
Exactly right. Valutaja now moving on in, trying to get the point very, very quickly indeed. I have to say, though, Creation Esports are putting up a good fight so far. Lynx at the moment with his ultimate on Genji. Wow, managing to kill Mort inside his own spawn point. I guess that works. Why the heck not? And he will be able to get back onto the point in time, but maybe not enough to capture it. Here comes Winston. There goes Winston. Good jump from Lynx avoiding the death there, and he picks off KYB and Valutaja. That was a very critical move.
Yeah, and Cruz tried to put Sand Barrier up, but got caught off midway. Lynx just cleaned up with the kill there. Genji slashing across, finding the damage he needs. May's trying to get onto the point, doesn't manage to make it. Toshikan booped him back and just dealt the damage, finishing them off there, and that's time in the bank now for Creation, but they still have such an uphill climb right now. Reunited have so much time to play with. Creation's defense has to be absolutely impeccable. If they get rolled, it's going to be so hard. With just 2 minutes on the clock, it's very difficult to take all of Volskaya when the enemy team knows that there's blood in the water.
So this was real. That last play with KYB was actually really critical, because KYB was facing, was it Winghaven on, who was it on Winston just now? Fighting against KYB.
Jesus. Oh, God. Names. So difficult.
I can't remember, but the point is, Winston jumping up and Genji on the floor with 30 hit points left. Winston was surely going to kill Genji when he landed, timing his jump so well to avoid the damage from Winston, and then he goes on to kill 4 players from Creation Esports in the next 20 seconds. That was absolutely the highlight of the game for me, and really well played by KYB, recognizing he was in a dangerous situation, not only just getting out of it, which by the way deserves praise in itself, but then just going on to casually kill 4 players before he gets healed up to full, because why the heck not?
And KYB actually might be bringing out the Diva here. I really like this pick on this map. Actually, Diva's just so good for aggression. She's also great for just forcing people into new positions. Like, if a team tries to take some high ground, Diva can just knock everyone off. But it looks like Creation might be ready to just fight on the ground. They're not trying to hold the high ground at all. They're just staying sort of around the point, holding it nice and safely. So it's going to be curious to see how this offensive little strategy is going to work out here. I'm going to be so fascinated to see this, but Lynx are going to be on the Genji as well defensively, so going to hope to get that Dragon Blade up and running and find all the hurt he needs.
Well, 5 minutes and 53 seconds, plays 2 minutes flat, ladies and gentlemen, and Reunited are going to be attacking for now the 3rd time on Volskaya Industries. Kid this time is going to be playing Winston, so no backdoor shenanigans so far. Valutaja trying to get ultimate charge up on Deadeye as quickly as possible, and it looks like we are definitely going to be committing to going through the left-hand side. They can't leave Reinhardt behind, though. Okay, they just about managed to rescue him.
Yeah, and Artia crucially gets rid of Mort there on that first push. This is now a difficult position for Reunited. They're sort of all trapped in the garage. Going to try and basically die as soon as possible, but all this is time in the bag right now. They might actually be just slowly trying to kill Cruz, because what that does is stagger the respawns. You don't want to try and attack when you're not a full group of 6. This isn't solo queue. This isn't a pub game. They do like to wait for each other, because if you try and fight 5 versus 6 against a competent team, you will lose. And as such, they now have to wait for Cruz to get back. He's slowly coming in. He's luckily Lucio, and that fire strike just rakes across the whole team. That's a huge amount of ultimate in the bag. Numlock is ready to go with an Earth Shatter. Yeah,
I'm kind of looking out to see when that's going to happen. I think he's going to wait for the entire team to move in. He charges and whiffs that a little bit. Are we going to see the Earth Shatter? We're not. He's not sure how much DPS is actually behind him at the moment, so he's being very patient, waiting to see if the opposing team is actually going to be moving towards the right-hand side. But Morse, in the meantime, is taken out as well, so that's a big, big influence there on Reunited.
I apologize in advance to Esper for this, but Mort is going full Esper right now. Though Winghaven, finds a 3-man Shadow, but there Dracaeus is ready with the Resurrect, does pick everyone back up, and it's so vital when the Mercy goes down early. It just gives you so much breathing room on the side with the Mercy still alive, because you can go really aggressive. You can play as aggressive as you like, because you know that Mercy's just going to be ready to pick you back up, and the enemy team is just not going to, be able to re-engage the fight once they start losing momentum. It's absolutely huge that Mort does not go down in this next fight. If this keeps happening, it's a massive issue.
Well, I mean, let's think of ways for it not to be an issue, right? We just need to make sure that the teams stay in positions where... Oh, never mind. That's 3 wins on the trot as far as kills are concerned for Reunited there, so I'm going to pause my train of thought, because everything that we said wasn't about to become an issue is now becoming an issue for Creation Esports as Reunited collapse on the point.
Yeah, Mort actually managed to stay alive this fight, and wonderfully, Valutagia found a great high noon. Lynx almost managed to save it with a Dragon Blade, did come in, get some nice kills, but because Mort was alive, hey, Mercy can just resurrect and pick everyone back up.
Yeah,
Looks like
sure.
ready to go instantly for this next fight, though Unfixed has a pulse bomb pretty much ready to go as well, but Creation have managed to get themselves enough time and have managed to sort of set up on the point, so it won't be quite a complete stomp just yet, and they actually have a lot of resources coming into this next fight. There's the Bro Shield coming down as engagement begins.
Alright, so Unfixed doing... I'm looking at Unfixed at the moment because I just want to see so much damage done on Tracer right now. Not quite able to pick off Artia, though, and we do have Kib coming in from behind. He's now looking to do a bit of damage as well, but Bromas doing an excellent job of picking him off. Creation so far are doing okay.
Yeah, Creation actually might actually have this held, and they do. This is just what they do. The timer is actually starting to even out right now, so they will be 6-6 once this point is taken.
So,
the key thing to keep in mind is, can the timer hit 0-0 is the big question, right?
Yeah.
Because if you are above 0-0 in between 2 minutes, it will reset to that 2-minute timer. That's the big question in my mind. What Creation have to hope to do here is drain 2 minutes 30 seconds of defense, and that's going to be a big ask. With KYB, especially with that Dragon Blade ready to go, it's going to be huge. Bromas with a high noon, but it's just going to be a zoning tool right now. It's not going to buy them too much, although they could have an extra 20 seconds if they attack right now, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Alright, so at the moment, I think you rightly said, look, if it gets to below 2 minutes, it doesn't matter, as long as it doesn't actually reach 0. The one thing that Creation have done really well, have you noticed that Reunited haven't really been flanking this game? Bromas has done such a good job of spotting Unfixed, of spotting KYB, and picking them out of the out of the air or wherever they happen to be before they actually get those crucial first or second picks. So Creation have been shutting down the divide and conquer play from Reunited, and then just dropping back onto the point and defending as one team. Reunited haven't been able to find a way around that so far, and I think the solution might actually just be to get a little bit more power in your team composition and really plow through, because the flanks aren't working.
Yeah, this is next team fight. I think is going to be a massive brawl. We're going to have several ultimates ready to go, especially on the defensive team. Toxicon is going to be ready with that Graviton Surge, and we're also going to see the crucial Earth Shatters coming out as well. Winghaven going right in. Numblock actually is the first one to drop the Earth Shatter, misses the charge, however, but does manage to clean Winghaven up. Linksa finding hit after hit after hit, going off on this Genji right now. Does find another kill, and has picked up 4 so far in the fight, and he's starting to clean up even more. No one is able to deal with him, although Winghaven gets a good charge, but Lynx just cleans up even further. Lynx putting the team on his back right now, and buying so much extra time for Creation.
And 2 of those kills were Lucio and Mercy, one after the other, Ohm. So both supports going down in a matter of like a second and a half of each other, and that just completely cut the legs off this Reunited attack.
Yeah, that was such a good defense out of Lynx. He just said no further, no more. I'm fed up now. I'm fed up with losing these matches. I'm going to put the team on my back. And now he has a Dragon Blade. Like, he's going to be ready to go even further ham on this next fight. Let's see how it goes.
He's looking for Reinhardt. He's trying to wait for the shield to drop. It's not going to happen. And Artia on Reaper comes absolutely out of nowhere. Picks off Valutaja. They were not expecting that from where I was watching. Cruz now with the ultimate as well, trying to delay this as long as possible. 23 seconds left to go. Can Creation Esports do this after the storming start Reunited had on this map?
Yeah, this is an amazing comeback right here, and if that timer ticks down to 0-0, and it probably will, I don't think they can actually physically take it in the next 10 seconds, so it will go down to 0-0. That puts Creation in a great point. They would only have to take the first point as, Lynx wins the Genji duel. This is so strong right now for Creation. They've made the comeback happen, and the dream is real. If they hold this right now, then they win. They literally win. They just have to keep Reunited off the point. There's the defensive res, and no one is there to contest it. Oh no,
wow.
Cruz, what are you doing? You can't suicide now. You had to get to the point.
Oh, wow. Wow, that is incredible. And after what was an absolutely barnstorming start from Reunited, well, guess what, guys? Creation have said, hey, don't count us out yet. That was a beautiful performance from them on Volskaya. And who said control point maps were boring?
Yeah, that was really damn cool. Oh, that Dragon Blade. That Dragon... I play Genji a lot myself. I love watching these pros play them, though. They're just so fluid and find so much value with every single swing. It's so good to see. I love high-level Genji play. But man, that was... I was so sad to watch Cruz. Like, Cruz was trying to commit suicide. He was trying to get back to his team, but didn't realize that he had to take the point. They were a point down. You can't lose at that point. Oh, I'm so sad for Reunited.
It was certainly a little bit of a tragic way to end. But at the same time, I'm really, really excited about the storyline developing in this series now. It is a best-of-7 series, of course. Reunited, just absolutely steamrolling, I have to say, the first 2 maps, with 2 complete holds. First on point number 1, and then on in the shuttle room in Watch Point Gibraltar. But they did successfully get 2 complete holds against Creation Esports. And after that, Creation sort of came back, and it's like Wimbledon, okay? 2 sets up, and you're like 2 breaks down in the 3rd set, and Creation pulled a Federer out of nowhere. That is the best way I can describe what's happened just now.
And if you don't watch tennis, you're completely lost.
You're completely confused. It's like, what's going on? What is this sport that doesn't involve a basketball or baseball? They exist, folks. They exist. Best sport, NA.
I do like some tennis myself, but...
It was pretty epic.
Wimbledon's been really good this year. Anyway, getting completely off topic, it's now Reunited's map pick. I will be shocked. I'll be absolutely shocked if we don't go to another payload. They just looked so much stronger than Creation on these payload maps. So let me see the pool. What is still in the pool?
We're not going Hanamura. I do not think so. Not after that.
Hanamura's not in the map pool, so we'd have no danger.
So
we could go to Anubis. Is the other control?
Okay, cool. No, I think we're going Dorado.
Yeah, I would say either Dorado, maybe Numbani. I think Reunited could do a really good job and just do a full single hold on Numbani. The way they've been playing, that first point on Numbani is really hard to take. Toxicant saying that the enemy team wants Temple of Anubis. I don't think they want Anubis. No, we're going Hollywood. I like that pick. I really like
that's interesting. Do we think Reunited are more, like, in general, are more confident on Hollywood than they are on Dorado? Because I feel like Dorado Kings Row has just been such, not even flavor of the month, it's been bread and butter for them for quite a long time.
Dorado's an interesting map because it used to be very, very defensively biased, especially in like the Widowmaker era. It was very difficult to break that first point. I think teams have figured out better ways of breaking it now. Roadhog's definitely a big part of that. Oh, apparently I need to make...
make sure the lobby leader.
We'll have to leave and rejoin because I can't just...
Then everyone will have to leave and rejoin, right?
Yeah.
Because after you, it goes to the next.
I can just do the setting, actually. I need to set this up.
Cool, no problem.
Hollywood.
So we're going to go ahead and hop into Hollywood for the next game. Now, the current score is Reunited 2, Creation Esports 1. But the real story is how that scoreline came about. Reunited absolutely burst out of the gates with a 2-0 victory, including 2 complete holds on payload maps. Creation then went to Volskaya, and we went all the way to the 3rd iteration of the teams playing against each other, where Creation, after being down in the time bank, I think it was something like 7 minutes 53 to 2:51, there was a full 5 minutes difference in Reunited's favor, then pulled one out of absolutely nowhere and said, oh no you don't. And there's a little bit of a Rocky Balboa moment as they managed to take Volskaya with a complete hold of Reunited on the last. They were not expecting that. So we go into Hollywood now with Creation Esports having a golden opportunity to tie this best of 7 series up completely.
That being said, Hollywood definitely one of the most stable maps in the meta. It's just one of these maps that I really like. Hollywood, it's just a diverse map. There's a lot of different ways you can make yourself look strong. Teams are ready, so I'm just going to start us off. Beautiful. And basically, Reunited have just been looking slightly better. So I think on this very stable map, I think Reunited just have the higher chance of winning. They've been playing better than Creation have today, aside from that little bit of an upset on Volskaya. But Volskaya is very volatile. It's very difficult to determine maybe who technically is the best team on that one. But I think on this map, Reunited have to have the favorite side to them.
Well, there just isn't even enough data to suggest, hey, who's absolute favorite on all of these control point maps? Because, frankly, the teams haven't played like nearly as much as the payload maps. And, like you said, I think earlier in the cast, the teams still have an element of figuring the maps out. There's a reason why the strategies are changing minute by minute as opposed to week by week. And it's because they're just not played as often. They're only starting to get popularly played now. So it's entirely normal, I suppose, for the guys to basically be experimenting. And that just makes it a bit more exciting.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking at this offensive lineup right now from Creation. I imagine they could change at any moment, but what I'm noticing is there's no Farah. And that has me slightly confused, because Farah is really damn good on this map. Maybe they just don't feel that their Farah is good enough.
Might change to it last minute.
Yeah, they could definitely change to it last minute. Unfixed going for the defensive Farah is definitely something that I was expecting. You could either run the Farah or the Junkrat. I prefer Farah on this map. She's just so good. There's so many little angles you can fire rockets down. She's ridiculously powerful in the meta right now. But I could see this offensive lineup definitely staying. Like, I do like Zarya on this map on this first point. If you lose the first engagement, Zarya gives you a good way to sort of swing in with a comeback. You fire off the Graviton Surge,
So,
you get a big sweep and go off the back of that.
Before the teams start fighting, really quickly, if you're the attacking team and you had to swap one hero off to be Pharah, who would you swap off?
Artia onto Pharah. Or I'd swap, whichever player feels most comfortable on Pharah, but I wouldn't take the Genji.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Well, we'll see what they're able to do as we now move very, very quickly. Actually, in Creation Esports going extremely aggressive. Bromas getting a lot of damage done to him early on. Unfixed picking off Dracaeus. That is a major upset. Very, very important pick early off in this engagement. But Artia picking off KYB again on sub 100 hit points, on sub 50, pardon me, but are still able to make the magic happen.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I'm afraid of right now, is the same situation they ran into on King's Row, where they just do not have an answer for Unfixed in the air. They've got to deal with him somehow. And who on this team handles that Pharah? Like, it's not going to be the Genji. Genji struggles a little bit against Pharah. He can get up there, but it's going to be slow. Lynx can't reach on the Zarya. Reaper's not very effective. There we go, Lynx swapping from the Zarya and actually going for the McCree. So again, this is, like, they're running a one-tank lineup right now, and they've got to do it just to deal with this threat from Unfixed. And that's really damn risky. They just lost a lot of tanking power with that Zarya.
Well, like you said, it otherwise had to be Genji alone to deal with Pharah, right? And they couldn't necessarily have that, which is why we have the switch coming out of Lynx. I like that decision. It also means that he has the ability to try and pick off Mercy as much as possible as well, so we'll see if this pays extra dividends for them. Creation are going to be slightly disappointed their first push didn't pay more, though. I think they were planning on absolutely storming the front.
Yeah, Valutaja finding a lot of easy targets as well with that Reaper. When everyone can't deal with the Pharah, one of these threats is just going to go off in a big way. If you're trying to focus down the Pharah, then Reaper has free reign to come in and deal so much hurt. If you're trying to deal with the Reaper, then Pharah can try and land all that extra hurt.
So what do they do? Who are they going
to
to swap off to sort of deal with this? Because now they have Lynx on McCree, and in fact we have, I think it's 9 ultimates available across the board now, so this could be a massive brawl. But what else do they do? Do they bring a soldier into this lineup?
I think they just hope with the ultimates they got. They've just got to hope that RTF finds the right target with the Dragon Blade. But oh no, draws the Dragon Blade and Kip just says nope. Hooks in, kills him. Hook, line, and sinker. Oh my god, that was one of the fastest team fights I've ever seen.
That was super quick,
swept in, picked up a triple kill as well. It didn't even use Death Blossom during that. Oh my lord.
Yep, and that means there are still 3 ultimates available for the side of Creation Esports, but there are 4 available for Reunited, and they're still holding strong with 1:40 remaining here on Hollywood.
This is going to be so disheartening for Creation. They're just pushing in, but they're not finding any value anytime they try and put in. KOB fires off the whole hog, will try and break the barriers. Creation gets in the back. Oh my god, the barrage comes in from Unfixed, finds one target, does a huge amount of damage as well in the back as Valutaja comes in. Dracaeus does get the resurrect off, but has Valutaja in his face. Fortunately, Valutaja is going to have to Wraith Form away. Fighting does resume on the point, but Unfixed is still on the high ground as well. Numlock cleaning up in the back, but it might not be enough. The 2 damage-dealing threats from Reunited are so strong right now.
At the moment, Lynx actually coming around the back on Roadhog, trying to get a couple of easy kills, using the hook to pick off Unfixed. Now that was the absolute crucial kill. Kib is going to try and make something happen on Genji, but he is way too far away, and as a result, with about 57 seconds left to go on the clock, we have actually got a situation where we can progress on to point number 2. I'm calling out MVP of that push as being Lynx. Roadhog managed to get 3 or 4 crucial hooks there and contributed massively to Unfixed falling out of the sky.
And Numlock did a great job as well. He managed to find a great Earth Shadow, took 2 targets down. I mean, it looked like Reunited were getting all the advantages they needed. Oh no, Kib assassinates Dracaeus there. This is going to slow down the push significantly. Imagine Reunited going to look to engage at the back of this. Valutaja gets hooked, manages to Wraith Form away nice and safe. He had the Mercy in support there as Kib is going in hard. Will just disengage as well. There's Lynx with the whole hog as well, just buying a little bit of space for his team. Archer declares it's high noon. Everyone backs off nice and safely. It's just a little bit of extra space. As Unfixed gets hooked, goes down. That's going to be big for the next fight. Oh,
right, so at this point, as Valutaja goes in and grabs a couple of kills, forcing the resurrect from Mort as well. And we have Cruz with the sound barrier contributing to this fight. There's a lot riding on this right now for Reunited. They've invested a lot of ultimate in keeping their team alive. Valutaja goes down once again, though, but at least Toxicin and Artia have both gone down, only just respawning. And Numlock's trying to hold the fort, but the barrage now, as Unfixed is back, he's basically going unchecked once again.
Yeah, what I want to see is a couple of swaps maybe coming out of Creation. The high ground is so important here as Bromas actually finds a double kill, finds a triple kill even, does take out Unfixed and Mort there, and does actually put by Creation
doesn't it?
a lot of space. Yeah, they've actually managed to sweep up and clean up there. So Brandmas saying no more. There's the swap though. Lynx going off the Roadhog, I think, and going onto the Genji instead. High ground is super important on the streets phase of Hollywood, being able to move up there and engage up there and not sort of just constantly lose control of it, which Reunited definitely had for a little while. Oh no, Bromas is actually stuck behind. No one noticed him, but actually they came out the door so quickly. But Artier buying so much space at the high noon.
And here we go. They're moving back on in. They don't want this payload to get to the second checkpoint for free. Both teams now going at it hammer and tongs, but once again, it's Creation Esports coming off the better. And I have to say, on this second point where the high ground is so important, I liked the initial Roadhog pick from Lynx because he was constantly hooking people out of the sky, and I think unfixed really at a difficult time while Lynx was on Roadhog. And then once it became apparent they would win the team fight, immediately switching off and grabbing ultimate charge on Genji, I think was just a really, really nice choice because it's going to be a lot more useful than Roadhog for this final stretch.
Meanwhile, Artia is just cleaning up as well. Creation went super aggressive just while you wait for the doors open. Of course, the payload cannot move, so you're free to sort of try and engage and get a couple of quick picks, maybe. Make sure the enemy team can't deal too much damage to you. Looks like they're still going in, though. Bromas overextending a little bit, gets caught out by Kib and Valatage, and they're now going to try and clean up Lynx there as well. So there's two key damage dealers now removed, and Valatage is actually very well positioned as well for a death boss. And Creation have to be careful, have to run back, and they will have to wait for those two people to rejoin the fight.
I like that Artia and co are just moving back to the second checkpoint, and they're doing this because they know that there are about 3 different ways that Reunited can flank them right now. So they go, okay, we're being attacked, everyone fall back so we can clump together as a team and get behind the shield. Valutaja at the moment trying to use his ultimate to good effect, managing to get 1 kill and contributing to 3 more. Him and Kib are absolutely cleaning up. So despite the fallback there, Creation didn't quite get it together in the end, did they?
Yeah, the one thing that really went wrong for them is Artie was just trying to wait for Valitaja to come in. They knew the threat of the Death Blossom was there, and he threw a flashbang and missed. And that's the moment where the teamfight just goes so badly. Reaper gets so much damage out, and it just hurts so much. That said, also Kib is going to be ready to go in this next fight with a Dragon Blade, and I'm excited to see where that goes.
Alright, I'll be keeping an eye on both Artia and Kib, both of them. In fact, pretty much everyone have ultimates available at the moment, so it's going to be difficult to keep track of everyone, but I will do my very best. Here comes the dropped beat on the side of Reunited. Valutaja is going to eliminate, unfortunately, Artia, who had Deadeye available. We're looking at Unfixed now, who just managed to use the barrage, but hasn't killed too many, and Lynx has killed a couple of people. He still hasn't used Dragon Blade.
Lynx dropped his, but Kib still has his ready to go.
Kib,
Bromas tried to fire the Death Blossom, but just got earth-shattered out of it as well, so no value off the back of that. Reunited turning the tables, and Kib is still hung on to his Dragon Blade. He should probably draw it any moment now, I imagine. There's a sound barrier. He's probably going to wait a little bit for that to wear out. He managed to get 2 sound barriers, basically 1 prolonged team fight. Oh my god, though, Numlocked finds the value.
Artia High Noon gets Kib, and KYB going down is going to be pretty massive, I have to say. Unfixed, the only person alive at the moment. He's kind of chilling out in the spawn point, waiting for everyone else to pop by. The payload, though, is extremely close to its destination. We're going to have to see them rush out very quickly. Indeed, 2 meters left to go. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out into third-person view. Oh, this is going to be a massive brawl.
Yeah, if they do complete this, we will basically be playing stopwatch rules afterwards, and Reunited will have to beat the time. Kib's drawn the Dragon Blade, finds 2 kills. Will clean up and will buy themselves a little bit of time. There's just 1 minute left on the clock, though. So, honestly, they could hold this. They could really hold this. They have a lot of ultimates almost ready to go as well. Winghaven's definitely going to be ready for the next fight, and Unfixed probably will be as well, as we do have Kib and Lynxa. Duel of the Genjis. Who's going to come out on top? Lynxa actually does. I think Kib killed himself there.
Ever so slightly awkward, I have to admit. Lynx now with Dragon Blade available. He's on top. And looking for places to go, looking for a couple of picks to allow the payload to move just that little bit further. Here comes Lucio with Sound Barrier. That is from Cruz, forcing the Resurrect as well in order to get Numlocked back on the part of Creation Esports. And here comes some Sushi Blades. Lynx trying to pick off Lucio, successfully does so. Is this going to be a successful push? Oh, actually, that res says no.
Yeah, where's that huge res spray? Because that definitely should be spammed right now. And Winghaven actually gets an amazing Earthshed as well, finds so many targets with it. And Lynx is playing out of his mind right now. Lynx is really, really putting his heart and soul into this game. He's just saying, no, I refuse to go down. He's pulling on the soul of the dragon as he tries to hold this point, but Doe just eats a hammer to the face, unfortunately, and will be stopped. And that's it. Timer's running out. Bromas is trying to get to the point, though.
Oh, and he just about managed to get there in overtime. And we have a couple of ultimates there to try and shoo Creation Esports off. Numlock with a bit of a last ditch. I say last ditch. Drakeus is actually in there healing him, which is going to be extremely useful for him. He's going to be able to go ahead and move away. Is he going to actually be able to take out Winghaven here? Numlock, though, victim of Earthshatter makes it rather difficult, and he will finally get taken out. Artia now trying to move in as Tracer, but this is a little bit of a stalling tactic rather than anything else.
Yeah, Artia is just trying to get there, trying to touch the point, but it won't make it to the end. We will not be going to stopwatch. We will be using the distance, but the distance is literally all the way to the end. That said, Reunited will now have all the time in the world to play with, and with Reunited, the way they've been looking, I really think they can do this, especially if they take that first point in good time. They'll have so much space to play with.
So
could be great.
There were 2 or 3 opportunities there, I think you'd agree. As you can see, that's just a case of bad parking, to be perfectly honest. You take a look at the golden box, you take a look at where the VIP is, that's just poorly parked. I mean, 6 out of 10. I'd possibly fail someone on a test for that. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, Jesus, I've seen worse, but not much.
Not much. Oh dear. Now Creation. Oh man, that was really interesting because Creation probably had 2 or 3 opportunities where if they kept their momentum going just that little bit longer, they would have completed the point. Where are the biggest missed chances they're going to be ruining?
Difficult one. I think Lynx is probably just going to be... If I was Lynx, I'd be furious, because Lynx, killed about 9 billion people, it felt like, during that game. He put the team on his back and, unfortunately, just could not carry them over the finish line. It's so much nicer when you're playing with stopwatch, because the time to beat suddenly adds a huge amount of pressure. Reunited will probably feel like, we have all the time in the world right now. We just have to make it, through the entire map. But having that space as a pro-level team, most teams generally finish maps. So it's looking pretty good right now. If I was Creation, I would say try and hold the first point. You've just got to hope that you can hold them off here as best as you can.
To be perfectly honest with you, Lynx is the only player where I can categorically say, yep, absolutely nothing about that was his fault. Because he was on fire. I think it was something like 2v6 after a couple of his teammates got killed. And that's the point where he went on his 8-player kill streak. How on earth do you do that against Reunited on the point in their face? Incredible stuff. I want to see him do it again.
And I'll tell you what, I've been pondering it. What one mistake during that match would you regret? And it'll be Artia missing a flashbang onto Valutaja.
Yep, good call there.
You would feel so bad after that, because then Valutaja goes on and kills everybody, or just does so much damage it sets up your team. Meanwhile, we do have aggression straight on the point, unfixed, raining damage from above. We do have the Farah duel. I love watching these Farah duels. Can we get some sweet, sweet middies, some sweet mid-air rockets colliding with each other? Not just yet as teams do position. Lynx might find more. No, he just backs off carefully. His teams do jockey for position. Barriers are down. Expect a brawl very shortly.
Yeah, we need somebody on Kib duty right now, because that Genji might actually be not just a thorn in the side of Creation Esports, but it could be their undoing as well. And right now, no one's actually paying attention to him, and that's a little bit worrying, because he's doing an awful lot of squishy damage, and he's found Mercy as well.
Mercy goes down before she gets the rest. Drakeus on 70% there won't be able to bring anyone back, and this is going to be a good first point for Reunited. I don't imagine Creation are going to try and contest it. It looks like they're going for it. Nope, it looks like they might be just pulling back. Kib is just buying space there in the back. He's just drawing everyone away, and so that first point is definitely going to fall. Definitely, if I was Creation, be looking to try and set up on this high ground and prepare for this next point, because you are not going to take that back.
Yeah, completely agreed. We need to take a look at what sort of high ground position we can take on the second map. I'm a little bit worried as well, because if you take a look unfixed, I'm actually going to go ahead and take a look at Farah now, because we have got the damage amp going, is really staking a claim for taking the high ground as well. Picks off Drakeus to start things off. That is massive. We need Creation to get the high ground, and we need them to be able to do unanswered damage, but the only team doing unanswered damage right now is Team Unfixed. Lynx does at least get a couple of kills off, but he's eliminated by Kib. So even when Unfixed goes down, there's a little bit of a backup option.
Yeah, Lynx tried his best there. Got a really, really good Death Blossom low. Bromas actually finds 2 kills as well. Kib drew his Dragon Blade, by the way, and Artia managed to land that. Flashbang does stop Kib's rampage in its tracks, so there won't be a Dragon Blade for a little bit of time. And it looks like Creation have managed to stabilize off the back of Bromas finding those kills and Lynx finding all that damage. But it's going to be so hard in this next fight. Valutaja is ready with the Death Blossom, and Unfixed is going to be ready as well with the Barrage. And Unfixed has been taking control of the skies right now. I just do not think they have a good enough answer to that Scary, scary Farah.
Well, here's the... Oh, and Kib actually getting taken out by in midair by Bromas there. That's important because Kib was trying to get everyone off the roof. So that gives Creation Esports control of the high ground. Bromas with Rocket Barrage just to sort of clear the way. And I'm starting to like this position more and more for Creation Esports. I think this is pretty useful.
Oh no, apparently there's the bug where Lucio has turned invisible.
Oh,
I've
dear.
seen this before. You just see his weapon floating around, unfortunately. Oh dear, that's a little bit awkward. Unfortunately, it is a bug. It does happen. You can't do much about it. I'm not an admin either, so we will just keep playing on. Bromas actually been doing a really good job on this Farah. Does land a good rocket on KYB.
That's alright, guys. I can see him. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, we can see him.
I'm going to go ahead and spectate Cruz and just see if anyone shoots at him.
I imagine they'll be able to find him. There's the samurais coming from both teams, and it looks like Bromas actually dueling in the skies with this Farah. Unfixed trying to land what hits he can. They will disengage from each other. Unfixed now trying to find Artier, landing a couple of good rockets, but Lynx on the point gets a quick double kill. There's a lot of damage, sweeps everyone away from it, and we'll probably follow that up for the third on Winghaven here. We'll probably go down in mere moments. This is looking real good right now for Creation. This is just what they needed.
Yeah, this is just what they... I'll tell you what, Reunited definitely could see Toxicant because a couple of hammers to the face suggest that you are not as invisible as you might think, sir. So that was going to be at least a little bit of consolation for them. A couple of nice hammer swings. Artia now just trying to stay with the payload as long as possible. And we're going to have a reset coming in from Reunited. So as much as Creation can stall, that's great. But bear in mind, Reunited have still got over 3 minutes available. This isn't exactly the last push yet.
Yeah, and Kib, he tried to go ahead and tried to deal a little bit of damage, but Lynx on the Reaper was just waiting for him, landed a few good meat shots and took him out. So now they're going to be down for that Genji. They're just waiting for him to come back. Winghaven, meanwhile, has swapped off the Reinhardt, has gone for the Winston instead, probably just trying to get a little bit of extra damage on some of these supports, for example.
Sure.
Probably looking for the Mercy and get a little bit of extra hurt. I hear High Noon.
I hear High Noon, and Bromas, though, he's becoming a little bit of the new Unfixed, if you like, because he has just stayed on the high ground. He hasn't been shot out of the sky. Oh, I say that as Winston tries to go for him. But he's been constantly doing a lot of damage to Reunited, and he hasn't been taken out. So I really like this play from Bromas there. Yeah,
Bromas and Lynx are really going off. Artir is also just doing a really solid job, but those two have taken over. I imagine... Like, are they listening in? Because did they hear me calling out that Unfixed was taking over the skies? Because Bromas has just turned on right now. He is going full ham, and he is taking over the skies, while Lynx is just doing work on the ground. It's
well, I
huge.
guess they could be with the stream delay. I mean, as long as they can hold for several minutes, then technically they can hear and respond. But it wouldn't be that helpful to the game at the moment. Kib trying to stop Lynx from having control of the high ground. So we had a Genji versus Reaper fight, and Reaper did win. Lynx at the moment clearing the ground and allowing Bromas to try and take over. Here comes Unfixed, though. He needs to change that, and Bromas is hunting for him. He wants the direct rocket. Lynx. He gets the direct rocket. Bromas is just winning the Farah battle straight up, dude.
Yeah, and Kib just got called out again. It's like the third time it's happened. He's gone up the same route, and Lynx is just standing there waiting for him. He's just picking him off every single time, and losing that Genji early in the fight is absolutely huge. But Valutaja managing to put the team on his back somewhat, did find a huge amount of damage on that Reaper, has managed to get the point moving, and they need to keep it going. There's only 1 minute 20 left, and Creation will be reinforcing a lot faster. Bromas, with a beautiful barrage, cleans up on the point.
Kib with Dragon Blade available. Unfixed also has Rocket Barrage, so Reunite are not out of this fight yet. Never mind, they are out of this fight because both of them with ultimates available have just gone down. So Creation once again hold, and this is looking pretty real, dude. The hold might happen. 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, Creation, comeback kings at the moment. It is looking really dire for them. Like I said, you generally see pro teams complete, but they've just been completely stalled out here. They need to change something up. They need to get KOB to not die, basically, early on. He's coming up the same route again. Lynx is just waiting for him with rockets and shotguns, and the damage is coming in. Winghaven now going up, and looks like they're ready to engage properly. Yeah,
they're going to have to. Not a lot of time left at all right now. So here we go. We're moving on in. Unfixed, trying to do damage. Actually, the Farahs haven't seen each other just yet. They definitely have now, though. Lucio in a little bit of trouble. Toxicant trying to go ahead and back out. Unfixed still absolutely unanswered. What's Bromas doing on the other side of things? He's actually on the ground, but he takes that Unfixed just as Justice comes down. And Valutaja and Lynx both going at it on Reaper.
Yeah, here comes the... Well, we've got a combination of devastating ultimates there from Lynx and Bromas. Barrage and Death Blossom. So you're dead in the sky, dead in the air as well. They clean everything off the point. It looked good for a split second there for Reunited Kib. Does take Bromas out the sky for a bit of revenge, but it's too little too late.
Wow, GG's. And that was a bit of a unique situation there, Ohm, because thanks to Winston jumping, just for a second, Bromas actually had Justice raining from below. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, justice raining from the ground. I love justice raining from the ground. It's always fun.
Justice rises up from the ground. It doesn't quite have the same ring to it, you know? We're going to have to think of a nice little tagline for that.
And this Mercy play of the game, I'm not sad that this was play of the game. This was such a clutch. Rez picked everyone up off the point. Nice midi revive. Just really well played there by Mort, being in the right place at the right time. Not suffering from, I can't call it Esper syndrome. I think Esper gets a lot of undeserved stick for being a Mercy that dies a lot. Mort definitely doing his job there, though. Picked everyone up and definitely saved them on the point, but it just wasn't enough. Creation tied up the series.
And this is the story we were waiting for. Massively 1-2, coming out from Reunited to begin. Creation pulling it out of absolutely nowhere on Volskaya, and then agonizingly falling short when they were pushing on Hollywood. Remember bad parking. I'm just going to park that there, right? Bad parking. That is what Hollywood did. Creation didn't quite get to the end, and we were going, oh god, Reunited are so good. This is going to be such an uphill battle. Wait, what just happened? And for the second map in a row, Creation pulled it out of the bag at the last second. They are absolutely Rocky montaging this series up,
Yeah, they've just been doing so. And the first point hold looked so bad for Creation as well. Reunited got in there, they smashed their way through, took it in really good time, and then just completely stalled out in the streets phase. And Unfixed, who'd been doing such a good job until that point, just could not seem to beat out Bromas. And Lynx has just been getting better and better and better as the series progresses. He's been just powering up, and he's looking unstoppable so far. I definitely think Lynx is the one to watch for the rest of the series, because if he keeps on at this rate, he's just going to keep swinging game after game after game.
And speaking of first point train wrecks, we have Route 66 as the next map. So
I see what you did
convenient. Oh,
I see what you did there.
Herpader.
It looks like the teams are getting some water.
Yep, so it should be fine. Let me take a look at what's going on in the meantime. Guys, while we get set up and waiting for the next game, make sure you go ahead and give eBettle and The Play some love at eBettle LTD on Twitter, as well as The Play's GG on Twitter, though. We're going to go ahead and take a break and grab a little bit of water ourselves. So here's a word from eBettle. When we come back, Route 66, map number 5, the scores are tied 2-all. Perfect timing, Ohm. We're going to be popping back into Route 66 in just a sec. We have a couple of players grabbing water, and once again, I have the eBettle ad soundtrack playing on repeat in my head. It's going to become like... it's the new Call Me Maybe. That's basically what's just happened.
It can't be that bad. Well, it can't be that good, surely. Surely.
It's really catchy, man. It's like seriously, seriously catchy.
Lovely. This is so good though for these teams. It looks like Reunited want to attack first. It was Reunited's map pick, so I believe So I think Creation gets side picked again. That's up to.
It's well, I think we have the admins in the game also sorting that out so that we don't have to accidentally be on the wrong end of the decision while we're handling production, social media, Twitch chat, and all of the other stuff as well. But hopefully, we are just all good. Yeah, we do both sides anyway, hey? I'm totally fine either way. We're going to be seeing a cracking game on Route 66. So the story of the match so far, for everyone just tuning in, sponsored by The Plays and eBettle. We have a best-of-7 series between Creation and Reunite. I'm going to go ahead and put us onto... Oh, hang on, we don't want the starting soon text there. Put us onto the wait screen, and this is a pretty interesting choice as well, because I am ready with these at the end of the cast. So get ready. One of these teams at the start of August is basically going to be Rainbow Dash, I believe. Is it for a week? Was that the agreement? Oh, I can't remember.
I think it was for a week. It was for
For a week.
a decent period of time, like for these teams. We do actually have the map loading up as we speak as well. We will be going to Route 66, the beautiful, beautiful canyon. I love this map. I love the visual of this map. It's such a cool little style. And it's an interesting map as well. Like, it's very different to how a lot of the other maps play. It's very rotational based. Far is going to be huge here as well, especially in that second phase. But it's so much more open. There's just clear skies everywhere. So definitely expect to see Unfixed and Bromas perhaps dueling in the skies once more. And whoever gets the better of that, I think will have a huge impact here.
I can't actually escape off the edge of the map like I can on Watchpoint Gibraltar and Dorado. Such a shame. We're just looking at some of the lovely scenery opposite Big Earls. And I have to say, whose decision was it to put the train there? Because if I take a look directly underneath the bridge, follow me for a second, directly underneath the bridge is a tunnel. You don't need the bridge. What are you doing?
It's American planning. Like, I'm not...
Oh, wait, hang on, sorry. I'm
sponsored.
derping. It's a road tunnel. But they could have easily made it a rail tunnel as well. I mean, this is just grand... This is grandoise for the sake of being grandoise. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm sure it was government funding being sent somewhere. Someone had to get paid to do that work. That's how this kind of thing goes, I'm pretty sure, in America. At least that's my understanding of it. At the very least, not that British infrastructure is any better, to be honest. And Cruise is actually going on a nice scenic holiday as well on that
Hey,
new show. Getting the most out of
Isambard
that
Kingdom
wall riding.
Brunel would say otherwise, good sir. You take that back.
Yeah, but that was an efficient bridge. That was a beautiful, efficient bridge.
And it was
wasn't
also 200 years ago. I don't think we've learned... In fact, I think the British might have unlearned a little bit since then. But let's get into history a little bit later because the round has started. Valutaja is on McCree. Winghaven once again on his tank. Reinhardt. KYB on Reaper. Unfixed again. What a joy to watch today, hasn't he been? On Farah. Mort again on Mercy. And Cruz will take up the trusty position as Lucio. Defending at Big Girls.
Yeah, the offensive team, again, a very aggressive lineup. Pretty standard out of Route 66. You don't generally run an offensive Reinhardt. You prefer to take the Winston because you've got to take over Big Earl's diner. Numlocked is trying to do just that as he jumps in. The team does go full aggressive here. Artier trying to snipe away as well on that Genji. But again, Unfixed is just getting huge amounts of damage down. It's going to be up to Bromas to shoot him out the sky. Payload is inching forward, and it looks like both teams just jockeying for position right now, though.
So I really like this from Bromas. Unfixed, I mean, we spent, like, all day talking about how if he's unchecked, he does loads of damage, right? Bromas is now the answer to that. He's able to get that hit scan damage off from a distance, and someone is going to have to break ranks to go and deal with Bromas. So I feel like Bromas is the answer to Unfixed on this map, though.
Yeah, definitely a good pick there. Just Unfixed has been so dangerous whenever he's been sort of left alone to do his thing. Artier actually finds a good kill. Unfixed drops the barrage. What can he find, though? Doesn't actually manage to find anything. Gets sniped out the sky. Meanwhile, Artier's been cleaning up on the ground as well. He's trying to hunt down that Reaper. KYB getting onto the point, just buying a little bit of extra time, but will explode in dramatic fashion. The ragdoll going flying there. I absolutely love that. But it's going to be up to how they're going to defend this next point, because this first one is definitely gone.
Creation Esports are doing themselves proud. They found a bit of momentum and they're absolutely rolling with it at the moment. This is looking very good as the first point is reached in a reasonably quick time. They're looking for a flank. Unfixed doing a good job of just chucking a couple of rockets waywards to say, actually, mate, no you don't. I've seen where you're coming from.
Yeah, and KOB is going to be watching this tunnel side as well. He's going to try and make sure that no one can go through there. And if they do try and pile through there, he's got a Death Blossom ready and waiting. But does fall off the building, so has to sort of take the long route back up. Meanwhile, the payload is rolling forward. Just 3 people on it, though. If Reunited engage right now, it could be good for them. Winghaven goes in, drops an Earth Scatter, gets all 3. Will start swinging away, and I imagine there's going to be a few corpses very soon.
Oh, beautiful from KYB. Coming in as soon as the Earth Shadow went down, looking for cleanup crew duty. Gets cleanup crew duty, doing a fantastic job. Artier, in the meantime, swinging all over the place with Genji. He goes down, but immediately gets resurrected. Can Reunited keep the pressure up here? I'm not sure. Unfixed on very, very low health. He gets taken out by Artier, and Creation Esports, again, a fantastic fight for them.
Yeah, Mercy went down a little bit early there for Reunited. KOB had a Death Blossom ready, but lost the Reaper duel against Lynx. Again, Lynx is just finding the key kills he needs, and now this is where it gets really difficult to hold this point. Once you start losing control of that tunnel to get back to the point, the run distance is so huge, and Lynx is in such a good spot right now. He's going to be waiting.
Ooh, well, I'm looking forward to this. He's jumping down. He's looking for an opportunity. Won't quite see one. KYB actually going for his first. Amusingly spray painting sorry just after he kills nobody with a Death Blossom. But hey, we'll let that slide for now. And Bromas once again is on effectively cleanup duty from afar. He just backs away, not allowing anyone within melee distance. And he's doing so much damage, dude.
Yeah, that was a really good disengage. Just massive
Nice.
shout out to Toxic in there. But Unfix finds a double kill before getting taken out, and that might just not be enough as Artier draws the Dragon Blade and does clean up. But yeah, that fight, KYB could have had so much value, but Toxic just had the presence of mind, put the speed boost on, and like I said earlier, just runs away from that Reaper, and all he can do is apologize after that, apparently.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I hear him in Warlock voice, by the way. Sorry. Now that's that is, I think, the first time in an engagement, correct me if I'm wrong, where Unfix has openly acknowledged Bromas being able to pick Pharah out. So he took Bromas out with his ultimate, and then he switched off, and he's now on Tracer. What do we make of this on the final point? Better?
Much better. Pharah cannot do things in here. But meanwhile, Lynx has actually picked up a quadra kill. He found 4 kills and they've got a good death blossom off, cleaned up the rest of the team. This is going to be a really fierce time if this continues about 6 minutes. Is it 6 minutes? No, it's 9 minutes, isn't it? Total time on Route 66.
Dude, they're going to get held 2 meters from the end. What are you talking about? Bad parking. Remember, never forget.
Oh, true enough. Creation Esports cannot park, but they can hold a point apparently, and they can make good comebacks. Tactical Visor does come out though. Well, no, I had a Tactical Visor. No, it wasn't a Tactical Visor, but Valitagia declares it's high noon. Valitagia, a scary McCree, but won't find many value targets on this, I think. Drakeus hiding behind the point, getting low.
Drakeus hasn't seen Unfix. That was the problem. Unfix just waltzed straight up behind him and unloaded 2 guns worth of ammunition into her back. That cannot have been pleasant whatsoever. And that actually gives them the mercy kill. So Creation Esports at the moment fighting, but I have to say Reunited have a little bit of a second wind in them now, and that was very much needed from them.
Yeah, they really need to hold on this final point. KOB dealing with Lynx, so wisely pulls away right now. There's no reason to overextend. Just wait for these valuable ultimates, because right now Reunited definitely have that in their favor, and they've got to make the most out of that. They've got to make sure that Lynx doesn't get another cleanup kill, as well as Winghaven starts to push the issue. Unfix goes in the back, finds a bomb, does manage to get the kill, and KYB also helping finish everything off.
Mort and Cruz, both supports actually on the side of Reunited, now have their ultimates available. They're not going to be using the Resurrect, though, just waiting for everyone to go ahead and respawn and use them in the next team fight. On the side, though, of Creation Esports, Bromas and Lynx both with ultimates available, so that's an awful lot of damage being dealt to counter the ultimates from the support. This is going to be a very interesting battle.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely huge. There's the Tactical Visor coming out from Bromas. What can he find, though? It's just Winghaven in his sights right now. He does start tracking down Cruz and Valitagia. Valitagia is going to go down, but Lynx is still dealing damage. Lynx gets 2. There's the Resurrect, but Lynx has Death Blossom ready to go. There it goes. Finds even more kills. Eventually gets cleaned up by Unfixed over on that front line.
Very, very good. Ouch! Flashbang from behind from Artia also takes out his opposite number. And Creation Esports are looking very, very good now, pushing the payload ever so slightly further. But of course, the distance from spawn means that Reunited will be able to defend one more time.
Yeah, they have about one more good shot, and they do have a bro shield as well. Cruz with the sound barrier is going to be ready to go. That said, Artier does have a high noon. Can he find the value targets there? Winghaven gets on. No, doesn't get under the barrier just in time, and we are playing on 60 tick, by the way, so no excuses there, being out of position. Doesn't go down, and oh god, the damage. Artier and Lynx are just cleaning up.
Very nice. A shield to the face prevents high noon. That was going to be the initiator as far as Reunited were concerned. And yeah. Very, very well shut down from Numlock there. I think that was a very nice play, because it could have been the start of a swing, and they said absolutely not. So 6 minutes, 32 seconds now appears to be the time set, and I think I'm going to have to start using my stopwatch. Ooh. How exciting.
So yes, we are using stopwatch rule sets to break the tiebreaker system. So basically the way it works is if they don't make it to the end, then we use the same system that ranked used, which is distance space. But when they do make it to the end, we determine who wins and loses by how fast they did it. It's a system that I personally really like. You don't end up with those awkward sudden deaths that are going to be going away very soon as well. I can't wait for them to go, because they are a little bit silly, shall we say. And I think this is just a really good way of resolving it. It rewards teams for playing well, playing coordinated, and getting all the way to the end.
Yep, just a very solid effort from Creation. I'd like to give props to Reunited for the way that they held back on the last push. Creation had so much momentum behind them, and Reunited really blunted that for a good 2 to 3 minutes. And that, I mean, otherwise Creation would have had an ungodly fast time, right, on Route 66, and Reunited would be really hard-pressed to beat that. So as it stands, yes, this time is fast. No, it is not unbeatable.
Yeah, Route 66 is one of those maps where if you do lose control of it, it can just snowball out insanely quickly. It can just be really, really a big ask to defend this for a long time. I think that third point is where you can really, really knuckle down and buy yourself a lot of time. But
Winghaven's painting back in spawn by the looks of things.
Ooh, Winghaven.
couple of hammer marks next to the Route 66 sign. Not really anything, not really anything revolutionary. I wouldn't exactly call him the next Picasso just yet. I'm going to be taking a look at Lynx and then possibly swapping onto Bromas as we start things off. We'll go ahead and start the timer as well. Here we go. 6 minutes 32.
The defensive Genji as well is going to be looking for a lot of backline harassment damage. Going to be looking to just finish things off. KYB, of course, his counterpart on the opposite side, but I've got to say, Lynx has been getting the better of him so far. As Valutaja already sneaking around, KYB also being very aggressive. The double flanker lineup going to be super aggro. Dracaeus is going to have to watch his back all the way through this fight.
All right, question for you, Ohm. Unfixed, abandoning Farah by the looks of things, going himself as Soldier 76. I really like this choice. What do you think? Because he's such a good Farah.
I kind of like it as well. Like, I think this is a good option. It's just a very stable pick as well. They've got to be cautious that the enemy team isn't running a soldier themselves that can really shut you down. As KOAB gets first blood, Bromas will go down nice and quickly. Winghaven, unfortunately misses the charge. That's a very early res as well. Just picked Bromas up. So only one person getting brought back to the fight here is Winghaven. Finding kill after kill. This Reinhardt is going off. The hot-blooded Spaniard that Winghaven is just landing so much hard.
Ooh. And a leap coming back from Numlock by the looks of things, but he's going to get taken out just before he's able to touch the ground. Unfixed right now, still continuing to do so much damage. Where are the players that are flanking? Valutaj has actually been pegged back by Lynx for most of that engagement. He does win the duel, but it does mean he wasn't able to engage the rest of the team. He doesn't need it, though, because Reunited are moving forward.
Yeah, Reunited just cleaned up there. The damage just came through in all the right places at the right time, and no one dealt with that Reinhardt just swinging away, just mincing everyone. And this canyon is so dangerous. Valutaja lands the stick on Dracaeus, and he goes down. Meanwhile, Winghaven takes Numlock for a ride. They just went miles there. Didn't actually manage to find the pin. Just skidded off those sloped surfaces that do dot that little canyon. Bromas draws out the tac visor, but Toxic and Lynx are going to take him out, so no value off the back of that. There's the Resurrector, and Unfixed in a really good position right now.
Big from Lynx, taking out Unfixed just as he was popping his tactical visor, so there is one less ultimate on the side of Reunited here, but they successfully repel. Numlock coming in with Dracaeus, and he has got Primal Rage, currently just stalling for as much time on the point as possible. Dracaeus does fall, so eventually they will be able to continue moving.
Yeah, it was really important as well that Dracaeus fell first. He was charging up his ultimate. If they kept dealing damage to that Winston, then the Resurrect will be able to come in and buy them even more time, and time is, of course, what matters. There's the clearing the area, but there was just no value of that. I think Valutaji actually just managed to stop Archer mid-Death Blossom, unless I missed something. No, Unfixed must have fired his.
But yeah, exactly. Unfixed would have fired his off, and basically we had ultimates everywhere, and Unfixed just about managing to come off the better in that engagement. Bromas, in the meantime, he's got Death Blossom available, and he did a really good job picking off a headshot onto Mort, actually, to start that engagement off. So Mort on Mercy, of course, a little bit trickier, and currently at about 68% HP flying around. Here's the High Noon.
Yeah, the High Noon coming out.
Doesn't know where to look.
There's not too much value off the back. They were in really good positions. Reunited had such good placement there. KOB slashes him down, though Mort goes down in the back as well, so no Mercy Res available for this next fight. That frees Lynx up to draw the Dragon Blade, but will get slapped down by Unfixed. Unfixed doing such a good job in this fight. His positioning was absolutely ace. He managed to find a really good angle, got a lot of damage onto Numlocked on that Reinhardt, and just managed to deal so much hurt during that fight that it's no big surprise that Reunited managed to take it. Now it starts to get really difficult. You've got to get out through this tiny little choke point, and there's a Reaper and a Genji just waiting for you to clump up, and Valutaja as well. That bomb could be huge.
We're coming close, actually, to the point where Creation Esports have to be genuinely quite worried. We're reaching the second point. Hang on a second, we have ultimates flying everywhere. Still 3 minutes left to go, though, so we need Creation to try and stall this out a little bit longer for them to be comfortable.
KOAB got a huge amount of value there off the Dragon Blade, and Winghaven, of course, ties it up after the Resurrect, just waits patiently for it to come out, drops the hammer, and brings everyone down. So good time coming out of Reunited. Reunited pushing forward aggressively, trying to take control of the truck, trying to take over this little sort of, narrow little canyon space in here. The tiny little area you've got to fight in over while three people keep that payload moving. Time is ticking away, and they've got to go quick here. This is where you can really stall out on Route 66.
Yeah, and they have to stall out as well. There's still 2 minutes and 23 seconds available. So basically, that means there's going to be, what? I'd say 3 good pushes coming out here from Reunited, and Creation have to stall our defeat every single one here. Valutaja looking for damage on the back, using the moving platform to his advantage, actually. He's hunting for McCree, doesn't quite get it, but manages to pick Archie off with a little bit of help from his friends.
Yeah, KOAB comes in with the cleanup. What I'm watching here is Unfixed. Can Unfixed find the Death Boss? And Dracaeus manages to dash away, but does he have the res? No, it's 99%, 100%. The Resurrect should come out any second. No, I don't think the corpse is vanishes just in time. That's huge right now. There's the res coming up, but it only gets Bromas, I think. Unfixed still has a Death Blossom. Lynx fires off his, doesn't manage to find the value he wants. There's Unfixed firing off exactly the same thing happens on the other side. Does manage to take out Dracaeus in the back there. And oh, Numlock, can he do it with that? But KOAB coming in with a Dragon Blade.
Yep, that's right. KYB trying to do his best to clean up. Still 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining, by the way. So if we're able to clean up now, it's not even going to be close. Doing a fantastic job. Diva coming in to stall. And, I mean, this is so close. If we take a look at the spot, we know exactly where the payload has to go. And it's going to get there with 1 minute and 16 seconds remaining, ladies and gentlemen. Reunited will successfully push further faster.
Yeah, that was very close. Like, Reunited opened up this series in such a decisive fashion. I'm going to bring us back to lobby. Of course, we don't want to do sudden death. We know who won game. Yep. We figured that out ourselves. We don't want your silly coin flip system. But wow. The story of this was Reunited opened the gates. They were huge. They looked untouchable. They completely held the first point in King's Row. They got pushed to the hangar on Watch Point Gibraltar and held it there. And then Creation have just been turning it on more and more and more. But Reunited now clawing themselves back into the fight, giving themselves a slight advantage. They're up 3-2 in the series. Just match point for Reunited. Where are Creation going to take us next?
I just realized that as I updated the score, just before I swapped back to us, it said Reunited 32, Creation 2, which would have been a little bit brutal, I'm going to be honest. It's not quite right. It's okay, fixed now. And, ooh, well, hey, you get your wish, buddy. We're going to the Temple of Anubis.
Temple of Anubis.
Oh,
honestly,
yeah.
My favorite assault map of the bunch. It's a good one, in my opinion. I actually like watching pro level matches on this. I'm going to ask them if the sides are okay. But yeah, like, this map can be really tense. This is one of those maps where you can actually defend the second point, it feels like. You don't get the same situation that Volskaya has, where you get these very quick rolls. You do have choke points to defend around. You can sort of stall things out a little bit more. It's just a little bit friendlier to the defending team. And as a result, the games are a little bit better.
Alright, so this could end up being the final map of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. The teams are just getting ready. We are just getting ready. We're going to go ahead and grab a quick 30-second break, and when we come back, we have Temple of Anubis, map number 6, between Reunited and Creation Esports. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go!
Oh. Whoa. Oh. And perfect timing brings us into the Temple of Anubis, as our heroes are going ahead assembling their teams. Wangmasmeni, it's been a while since I've been on this map in a competitive environment. I'm looking forward to seeing what it can bring. And, oh, I've just noticed the giant Murloc spray paint on the side of this enormous vehicle. How have I only just noticed this? The number of times I've stood on top of here and zoomed in on Widowmaker to pick people off, and I've only just noticed this? Really?
I think they call that missing the forest for the trees.
Something like that.
It's a Blizzard game. There's going to be Murlocs absolutely everywhere. Yay! I'm surprised that there aren't Murlocs like on the coast of Dorado, for example. Wouldn't be surprising if those the power plants dotting the coastline weren't generating a couple of mutants.
Oh, yeah. I want to look for those now.
I'm hoping that they're there. If they're not, Blizzard, put them in. Like, I'm calling my executive power as an influencer and YouTuber. Blizzard, put some Murlocs onto Dorado.
I would absolutely second that. I want Murlocs to be neutral creeps. Let's take this one step further. Link's playing football at the moment with Widowmaker, which I'm quite actually enjoying back in their spawn point. Interestingly, though, there is no Widowmaker on the part of Reunited. Are they going to switch to one when they see a sniper from Creation Esports? That's the big question here.
Well, what's interesting to me is that these teams actually met earlier today on Temple of Anubis, and the thing that went off in a big way and was a huge decider for that match was KYB on his Genji. KYB absolutely dominated, but Lynx bring out the Widowmaker. Lynx's Widow is actually really damn solid. That said, I'd say Lynx is a much better counter sniper than he is normal sniper. He's very good at sort of neutralizing the enemy Widow, but seems to struggle finding those picks that he wants. Numlocked gets a bit of Winghaven immediately for first blood. It looks like both teams just instantly going for the point. Cruz is actually already on the high ground, dueling with Lynx in the meantime, trying to land what shots he can. Lynx takes out KYB, takes out Cruz, and Lynx just finding shot after shot after shot. Unfixed is going to go down as well to Numlocked. This is looking so good for Creation as they advance on the first point.
Creation absolutely monstered it on the ground. Lynx, by the way, kept KYB completely occupied, and then as KYB was coming in for the kill, Lynx just got that crucial shot off. So that could have turned a big tide in that fight, and the first point very quickly done. Oh wow, Valutaja in the face as he warped in on Reaper.
Yeah, Lynx is just going off in a big way, and this is the thing with Widowmaker. Once she has momentum, once she can get positioning, is absolutely huge. You'll have Visor very soon, and that's going to make it so hard for Unfixed to do anything. They go straight for this point immediately. I said Lynx trying to dodge away from this Genji. Valutaji actually gets Numlocked in the back there, but meanwhile the point is going either way. Finally, Cruz actually lands the killing shot onto Lynx, so putting that threat down. It looks like Reunited might just be able to stabilize here on the second point.
Winghaven providing some much needed health on top of the point, managing to swing and take out Artia. Reunited finally stabilizing, like you said, but this is, I mean, this was a really successful first push out of Creation. They're going to be looking to hopefully repeat their success and get a very fast time in here.
Yeah, this is where Temple of Anubis can slow down a little bit, though. You've got to be so careful around these choke points. That said, they're being very aggressive here. Kib and Lynx dueling in the skies, dashing through each other with the Genjis. They will retreat from each other, but Bromas, I think, is the big one to watch in this next fight, because Graviton Surge is ready.
Here comes Artia with the high noon, being boosted in as well, looking for targets, won't get to find any. Trying to flashbang a Genji, misses that though, unfortunately. Now looking for Reaper, misses him as well. People are absolutely all over the place right now. Unfixed with the ultimate, Lynx takes him out, and he's on his ult as well. Sushi coming up.
Yeah, the one thing that I was watching during that fight, there was Mort. Mort was actually hiding away on that sort of little high ground perch where you see Reapers sometimes hide. Yep. Managed to get the good res. Valutaja tries to go in though. RTF finds it with a flashbang, takes him out in good time, and it's just Unfixed and Kib now trying to buy time. Kib draws the Dragon Blade. Can he find the kills? Is the big question. He's landing. He's trying to juke the damage. Winghaven comes in with support though. That could be enough.
Oh, and managing to pick up another kill from KYB as he moves underneath. Spots Dracaeus getting in position for the res. He won't get a res anymore. Absolutely creamed on KYB. And Creation Esports with that have to move back. That was a really good spot. Great thinking by KYB to go under the bridge and go mercy hunting.
KYB's Genji, it had trouble on Hollywood, and like I was watching it earlier today, and it looked really good on Temple of Anubis, so I'm glad to see he brings it back here. Valutaja also waiting on the high ground has Death Blossom as the team moves underneath him. Valutaja, what are you waiting for? You have, oh no, he's just going to run away. He Wraithforms out of there. I was hoping that he would go for that Death Blossom.
Yeah, Artia spotted him early on. So he had a couple of shots off initially, and he was really worried he'd get flashbanged if he went down in Death Blossom. So that's why he chose to run away. But he needs to somehow make it work. To your point there, Winghaven getting taken out by Artia. There is the Death Blossom we were looking at, and KYB off the back of that will take out Lynx as well.
Of course, the flashbang. I mean, he missed it earlier. Artia did miss it earlier, but I don't think you can count on Artia to miss those very often. So very patiently done by Valutaja there. Really nicely handled. There goes Toxicant as well. And Toxicant dying very late in the fight, and that's always a bad thing. It's going to...
He was stood in KYB's face. I actually saw KYB basically emoted, and the reason he did that, Genji was stood in front of him and refused to kill him for about 5 seconds to try and delay Lucio getting back with the rest of the team. That was so smart from him.
Yeah, I love watching plays like that. I love the fact that pro teams are starting to exploit these respawn systems. Unfixed gets 2 on the back with a barrage as well. Crucially, Dracaeus is down, but Mort is also absent from this next fight. Looks like they're just getting to the point, but right now, Reunited, I'd say, have a slight advantage. Valutaja just waiting to find the right target, but Kib draws the Dragon Blade. What can he find as Numlock doesn't find anything with an Earth Shatter. KYB gets 1, gets 2. Can he get the 3rd? Yes, he does.
Oh, wow. Very nicely played there by KYB. Like you said, a little bit shaky on Hollywood, but he is shining like a star here, doing fantastically well. And now he's being very aggressive, moving on out as well to see if he can pick off any stragglers. Creation once again get reset. Still 5 minutes and 20 seconds left, but of course this is the first half of Temple of Anubis. You want as much time in that time bank as possible.
Yeah, this is the time bank system, so 5 minutes is a huge chunk off there, and this is why I like Temple of Anubis. You can actually defend this map, and so it gets really dramatic and interesting. Lynx goes in, tries to find what damage he can. Bromas wisely just, not Bromas, sorry, Valitaji just wisely wraith forms away. Bromas brings in the Death Blossom, but there's a sound barrier, so he's not going to find much value off it. Trying to hunt down Mort duking as best he can. Bromas hunting, but Valitaja, the counterpart Reaper, getting so much good damage.
Lynx being hunted down from Unfixed will successfully take him out. And I think this is going to signal another hold from Reunited. Their Artia trying to sneak up from underneath to do some damage. Won't be able to do so. Wow! Unfixed has just been really, really on point with his accuracy. And things are getting a little bit awkward, though, because I don't think we can regame right now, and KYB has just left the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, the rules are that basically we have to just keep playing this past 2 minutes.
That's
I think
huge.
It's the normal rule set. So KYB has managed to rejoin nice and quickly, however. So he will be coming back. This is definitely Creation's chance to shine. Can KYB get back here? Yes, he is already back. Oh, Winghaven misses the Earthshadow, though. Goes right into the barrier. Lynx looking for what opportunity he can. But Valutaja gets a triple kill on the point. That's absolutely huge. There's the rest, though.
Yep, Valutaja. I think actually Reunited straight up needed that, to be honest, because Lynx was just doing so much damage elsewhere, and it looks like things are starting to normalize. It's just a big all-out brawl between the two teams now. The Mercy's desperately trying to get targeted back. Drakea's doing a good job, though, of juking and jiving out of harm's way.
Yep, KYB now the last one alive, just trying to... Oh no, he dashed and hit a wall, so it just looked like he face planted and went down. They will manage to take it, but that's a huge amount of time burned off there, and it's got to feel bad as well for Creation a little bit. Like, they managed to take the point, but they did it off the back of a KYB who had to sort of dash back into the fight. That's not going to feel great.
It's a meta play, man. It's a meta play. He didn't want them charging their ultimate, so he leaves the game and rejoins. Super sick, next level thinking.
Ooh.
Maybe not.
Or it's just British infrastructure being terrible for the internet, unfortunately.
Or it's British infrastructure being terrible. One of these statements is likely to be true. The question is which? You decide.
Yeah, it's a very difficult question, I'm absolutely sure. As people now start saying UK, I don't know, UK internet. Let's get a few UK internets in the chat. Because
UK internet in 2016.
Yeah, oh boy.
Lol.
I said this is also, like, I've nagged for Murlocs. I'm also just going to nag very briefly. Blizzard, if you're listening, can we have a pause function? It'll be lovely. Absolutely lovely.
I thought you were going to say, Blizzard, if you're listening, can we make the next sniper here a Murloc? I was actually waiting for that. And then when you said pause function, I was like, oh, that's way more sensible than I thought it would be.
I'm a too sensible person, but meanwhile, it looks like the attack. It's setting up actually with an interest. Well, it's setting up with just kind of how I expect. Valitaja bringing out the Zarya. I really like that pick here. They just have to get a good time. They don't actually have to stomp through here. They have plenty of time to play around with, and Zarya is just so reliable for getting you control points. You can Graviton Surges, everyone defends. Kaobi can draw the Dragon Blade and just get so much free damage. So I really like that pick here. Hoping to see a lot come out of that. And Lynx not opting for the defensive Widowmaker, instead going for the Genji himself. That Widowmaker did so much work, though. I really hope we get to see that again.
Genji and Roadhog on both sides at the moment. I like seeing Valutaja on Zarya, so it's the one time I am actually going to talk about them before they actually swap off their heroes. If Valutaja swaps off now, I'm going to be slightly sad, because like you said, I actually really enjoy watching Valutaja here. But no one has shield so far. Are we going? Yes, we're going with Zarya. I was waiting for the last second switch, but it is confirmed and on the field.
Yep, and here we go. They're just going to go straight on the point. We do have two of the damage dealers also just waiting in that side room. Winghaven launches the hook, doesn't find the target. Looks like the damage dealer is going in. Bromas draws first blood, taking down Mort. Valitaji reciprocates in kind, but it's just looking good for Creation right now. This push has been definitely shut down, a bit hollowed out. It's just Cruz and KYB left. Just Cruz now. Poor lad. It's just got to be hoping to die quickly. There we go. Didn't leave him alive this time. And that was actually really solid from Creation.
It was so funny in the last map where I was watching Lynx for like a good 15 seconds and he was just like, hello, hello. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Cruz is on the opposing team, dude. What are you doing? Like, have the team colors been messed up? No, they're just killing him now. But you're right, absolutely no such qualms this time around. It's going to be a lot faster for the team to get back here. KYB trying to get on point, but I have to say, Lynx doing an incredible job of keeping him in check.
Yeah, and RTA just getting the finishing blow there as well. Reunited got into a good position and just seemed to stall out, so KOB was kind of left on his own. RTA gets a second kill. There's the Resurrect coming in, though, from Mort. RTA does draw the high noon, instantly cancels it, though, decides not to go for it. But meanwhile, it's going to be so hard. Linkster draws the Dragon Blade. What can you find with that?
Numlock doing a good job on Roadhog, actually, completely shutting down Valutaja there. I was looking to see if Zarya could actually really exert her influence on this game, but so far, I have to say, the shields just haven't quite been where they really want them to land. So we need to see a little bit of switching up, I think, on the part of Reunited here.
Oh, KYB has his Dragon Blade ready. I imagine what they really want is Valataja to get that Graviton Surge as soon as possible, because that combo is absolutely insane. You just cannot stop Genji getting reset after reset after reset. It's going to be absolutely huge how they manage this next fight. They are going around the side there. I hear the High Noon going off. I don't think RTA is going to find anything there. Just going to buy themselves a little bit of time. They are caught in the large health room on the side here. And also, I can see Bromas. He's waiting in the wings. Can Bromas find what he wants?
Oh, he's wraithing in. He's trying to make something work. He's actually got the sound barrier as well, so he can go ahead and do a little bit more damage. Almost getting Unfixed. Very, very close. Graviton Surge going down, but he spots Mort. Unfixed will go down elsewhere as well, so Bromas playing a big, big part in ripping the heart out of that attack.
Yeah, both Mercies are now down. Artia already has another High Noon. This is the value of that 50% free resets. So now Artia can just buy even more space for his teams. They do have a very long distance to come back from the spawn, so you've got to be a little bit careful they don't start to get overwhelmed and pressured out here as Reunited do reinforce a lot quicker. They will just go straight for the point and hold it, I think. I imagine Creation are going to try and hold this too much. If they do, they could get picked off on the way here and lose that second point very soon. But Linksa, nope, he's going right in for it.
I'm not 100% convinced that... Oh God, Mort actually swung into Linksa there. That was a little bit painful. And we have ults coming all over the place. Unfixed will just about survive after getting a double kill with a rocket barrage as well. And Linksa once again gets another double kill. I straight up don't think, that Valutaja has been as effective as he wants to be on Zarya here.
Yeah, he's just not finding the value he wants. That Graviton Surge is being absolutely huge, but it's just... she's not finding the value on the barriers, and Creation is just playing so well. Like, I called into doubt that rehold, but Lynx just said nope, just went in, swung away with a Dragon Blade, killed everything he needed to kill, managed to retake the point. This is looking good now. There's only 1 minute 30 left. That's what, 2 good pushes? And can Valataja get another Dragon Blade, not Dragon Blade, Graviton Surge in that time? Bromas, oh my lord, they didn't check the corners, but he only finds one, but it's Mort, crucially, so no Resurrect here. Numlock pins everyone to the wall as well.
Ouch.
Oh lord, the damage.
Okay, so that play might actually abort it for Reunited, but what I kind of want to say there is, with all of these choke points about, and the fact that we're not exactly hooking everyone out of the sky, would we have seen Reunited push faster with Winghaven as his traditional Reinhardt, for example? Because he hasn't played particularly, well or badly on Roadhog so far. I just wonder whether the shield would have done them a lot of good.
It could have, but the danger there is, of course, you have the Reaper, for example, dealing so much damage. You have Numlocked as well, just dealing so much hurt into that barrier. It could go down very quickly, and it's just a big, meaty target for the Reinhardt. It's a difficult one to call. KYB finds Bromas very early on. Where are they going to find the value here? There's the other High Noon. Artie just landing what damage he can. Is getting reflection protection as well from Lynx. Does find KYB, actually, and Lynx is going in with another Dragon Blade, but Sound Barrier is up, of course, so that will mitigate all of that damage.
Oh, and there's the Graviton Surge. Archie is caught up in the middle of it. He's going to get taken down. Unfixed trying to use Rocket Barrage, but a little bit late, unfortunately. Wasn't coordinated with Valutaja at all. And as a result, they won't get as many kills as he would have liked. KYB, though, doing his best to make sure it doesn't matter. Picking off 2 more kills and moving straight in to point number 2. It looks like Reunited, basically in overtime here, are going to get to capture the point.
Yeah, they've managed to take it just in time. Meanwhile, it looks like Creation wisely just going to hold this next point. We do have KYB sneaking forward, just waiting in position, but he doesn't have anything of real value, unfortunately. I think once he gets spotted, he's just going to have to dash away. But only 5 minutes left on the clock. This is looking really good right now in the time bank situation as a whole for Creation Esports.
Yep, at the moment doing very, very well. And this series could actually go all the way to a game number 7. This is really exciting stuff as they go ahead and assault point number 2. Time bank 4 minutes and 38 and counting. They only need to stall out another minute, remember, to match it, but Creation have just been really, really good so far.
Yeah, I don't know where their strength has come from, but Lynx throwing the Dragon Blade draws the KYB. I think I do know where their strength is coming from. Lynx is just such a big way. Oh no, Winghaven finds it, but it might not be enough. There's the Resurrect on the point. Can they get the value they need? There's the Bro Shield coming out on both sides as the fight just carries on. Graviton Surge.
Oh my god, there's so many ultimates. They're all in one place. I have no idea what's going on. Luckily, I went into third person. And Artia managing to get a couple of kills there. I guess eating all the way through that shield. I'm not sure that's going to necessarily be enough, though. I mean, this is really quite difficult. We're now at 3 minutes 52 versus 3 minutes 42. It's become quite close now.
Yeah, the times have basically equalized, and now it's actually looking dangerous for Reunited to just straight up lose. Like, they have to be careful that they don't just lose on this point straight away. The real issue with that last fight was Graviton Surge came out, but KYB just wasn't quite ready with the Dragon Blade. If he had that in good enough time, they would have been able to just swing a few times into that Graviton Surge and kill absolutely everyone, but the value just wasn't there. Looks like they're ready to go once more, though.
Completely agreed. All right, we have Bromas there trying to hunt for a couple of targets. Won't get it. We have the revive on the point right now from Creation Esports, and there's Lynx with more Dragon Blade. Valutaja goes down. This has been a story of Genjis. Both Genjis have just been absolutely stellar. KYB and Lynx have been both carrying their teams.
Yeah, they've been doing such a good job right now. Cruz actually managed to take Drakeus down, but meanwhile, just the kill feed is completely in Creation's favor right now. They clean up once again. 3 minutes left on the clock. It's going to be hard. It's going to be so hard.
This is really, really good from Creation Esports. Every single map creation of one, we've said Reunited has started better. This is possibly the closest they've been to, oh, it's actually pretty close the way it started. But the first two maps, Reunited stomped, and then it looked like they were going to stop number 3 and 4. Nope. Creation came back at the last second, and now I feel like they're in full stride.
Yeah, Bromas draws out the high noon, does have a bubble right in his face though, so has to be a little bit careful. KYB also trying to deflect in his face, will take Bromas down. I'm not sure he killed himself there, I'm not entirely sure the full result of that. This could be the chance that Reunited need just to stay in this map. Lynx though draws the Dragon Blade, hoping to put an end to that chance, takes Mort down, so no resurrect. Definitely is putting an end to that chance as he cleans up with a triple kill on the point.
Oh, that is absolutely devastating. Lynx now continuing to get the kills when it matters the most. 1 minute and 55 seconds. We have breached the 2-minute mark for Reunited to capture the second point on Temple of Anubis. This is looking very, very strong for Creation Esports.
And as a defensive resource, they still have Artie with the Death Blossom. He's had this for a long, long time, so any over-aggression could instantly get punished. That said, KOAB, can he put the team on his back? He has Dragon Blade, Graviton Surge, it's ready to go. Can they land the combo? No, Artie is in the back, gets Mort instantly with the Death Blossom.
Oh, there's the Graviton Surge on top of the point. We have Lucio ultimates going down simultaneously for both sides, so we have that awkward situation where everyone has way too many hit points just for a second. KYB, hang on, Bromas at the moment with High Noon trying to pick that up. Valutaja on the other side, not quite able to do it as well. Everybody is going left, right, and center, and at the end of it all, Creation Esports still stand as the dust settles.
Yeah, Reunited just looked like they hesitated for a split second there. Let Artier get into a good position. He dealt so much damage. 1 minute left on the clock. That's one good push. And Numlocked is actually ready with an Earthshatter. I imagine what they're going to try and do is blow this barrier down as quickly as possible. Try and get that Earthshatter into a good position, because that's going to be huge in this next fight.
Yeah, absolutely. If he's able to take out Winghaven very quickly. Look at this. Winghaven, of course, from previously already making the change onto Reinhardt from the previous Roadhog. So we were talking about that earlier on. Let's see if this is able to pay dividends, because they really don't have a lot of time to do it now. Both Reinhardt's charging. Unfixed gets taken down, and that's going to be really awkward because the flanking damage is gone. There's the revive.
Yeah, this is looking so dicey right now. Artier finds a double kill as well on the back of that. Kobe desperately trying to escape. There's 15 seconds left. Can anyone even get to the point? It's going to be down to this sneaky Reaper. Valutaja needs to get onto the point, or they just lose right here, right now. And Creation actually hold the second point of Temple of Anubis. 5 seconds to go. Can they do it?
Is he going to wraith in? Valutaja doesn't look like he'll be able to do it. Here comes Winghaven. No, Winghaven is on the point. And we have overtime here, just trying to stall for as long as possible. Unfixed is outside and nowhere close right now, though. He needs to go ahead and dash back. Pulse Bomb takes out Drakeus, which is quite nice. Where's KYB? KYB's on the point as well. So it is an all-out brawl right now between Reunited and Creation Esports.
And even if they take it right now, this is still bad news bears for Reunited. They'd have to defend the first point, and defending the first point is incredibly hard. KOAB trying to make that dream a reality right now. Does find a double kill. There's a lot on the point right now. Drakeus just trying to get blasted damage. There's the Resurrect. Lynx is back up and ready to go. Lynx also has a Dragon Blade. Can Lynx do it again? Is the question. Can he kill absolutely everyone? There is a Sound Barrier Wing. Oh god, the Valutaja Death Blossom comes in. Gets a lot of hurt down. It looks like they might be able to just take it. Artier does go down.
Yep. Picking off Lynx actually was the crucial bit of that, to be honest, because Dragon Blade coming out, first couple of swings, guess what? You get taken out. Very, very close, but Reunited by the skin of their teeth take the point there on Temple of Anubis, and they're going to get reset down to 2 minutes. Advantage Creation Esports.
No. They went to 0 seconds. They have no more time.
Oh, pardon me, they don't reset, do they? No, this is the second time. Oh, God. So it's first point or bust.
Yeah, it's first point or bust for about 4 minutes solid, and they lost the first point in real quick time. Lynx has gone back on that Widowmaker. Oh boy, the first couple of picks could be huge. This could be huge.
And by huge, this could be quick, and this could be dirty, and this could be disgusting. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. So first point or bust territory coming out now. Reunited under so much pressure. What are they going to do on defense? They have to full hold this.
Yeah, if I was them, I would be tempted to run something like a Symmetra. Jesus, you've got to just... If you start losing momentum on this first point, the big issue is your respawn distance is so goddamn long.
And how do you lose momentum? You lose momentum by getting a couple of heroes picked up. How do you get a couple of heroes picked up? Oh yeah, Lynx on Widowmaker.
Yeah, Lynx, one of the best Widowmakers around. Like I said, great at counter sniping. A little bit dubious maybe on a couple of the normal sniping, but definitely pulled it out last time. Widowmaker dropped out of the meta for a little while, so it was great to see her come back and great to see Lynx still so sharp on that wonderful hero that Widowmaker is. She's my favorite, not gonna lie. I've always got a warm place in my heart for Widowmaker play.
Oh, this is going to be very, very tricky. Reunited are able to win it all, basically, by a scoreline of 4-2 if they win the map Temple of Anubis, but at the same time, they have just such a mammoth task ahead of them to prevent Creation Esports from tying it up. We're going to watch Lynx, because obviously.
Yeah, we've got to just see how Lynx positions, what picks can he find. They've already got a good position here. Actually, Reunited in an interesting little place themselves, sort of taking up this little high ground nook in the back. But they're in danger here. What I would be very, very worried about is them just running straight onto the point and taking control of the point. It looks like they're going to engage, but Lynx gets unfixed immediately. That's the momentum that they needed. They're on the point. Winghaven does actually manage to get a good value kill as well. Valentati takes out Dracaeus in the back, but the point is ticking up. This 1/3 already gone, and this is huge. It's ticking up even further. They've got to delay this, or it's going to be lights out.
Oh, Lynx gets taken out. Bromas still continuing to hang on the point, doing his best right now on Zarya, but he's going to get taken out as well. Artia, nowhere close. Numlocked, unfortunately, nowhere close as well. And we need to see these ever so strong pushes at the moment getting repelled. But that was very dicey for a moment there, wasn't it?
Well, what's really bad right now for Reunited is 2/3 of the point has been captured. That does not reset, so they only have to capture 1/3. If they don't contest constantly, that can go incredibly fast. So they have to make sure that they are on point, that they can actually contest the point. Because, for example, if they just blitz forward and kill Winghaven in real good time, they could just lose outright. It's so scary right now if you're Reunited.
Oh, and the tactical visor. Yes, Cruz gets eliminated with a headshot from Lynx. He saw that coming because he saw the Mercy's damage boost. That was absolutely crucial for the side of Creation Esports here. Bromas also with the ultimate available, and it's not even going to be required. GG. Creation Esports tie it up 3-3.
So they brought it all the way back with an amazing defense on Temple of Anubis. They've clearly been practicing, and this is why I like Temple of Anubis. It is a good map now. Like I get a lot of hate, but I really like it. I think it's a really fun match to watch. I can't wait to see more of it.
I like Anubis as well, so I'm absolutely not going to complain. We have a map number 7 out of 7, ladies and gentlemen. Reunited and Creation Esports have successfully tied things up 3-3. And, oh man, what's the final map in the pool?
It's Numbani.
Numbani.
It's Numbani.
So Dorado's out of it.
Yeah, Dorado was eliminated first by Creation.
And then all of the King of the Hill maps as well.
All the King of the Hill maps taken out by Reunited very wisely, I think. Just because Creation looked so good on that earlier. Hanamura also taken out by Creation very wisely as well. Hanamura, not the greatest map. Let's put it diplomatically and say it's not the greatest.
Guys, now would be a really good opportunity to go ahead, hands off your keyboards and mice until you get to Twitter, of course. Make sure you let people know we're going all the way to a game number 7 in this grudge match between Reunited and Creation Esports. This is the My Little Pony special, ladies and gents, and it's going all the way to the last map. We're going for a quick break before the final tiebreaker comes into play. When we come back, Numbani is where it all happens. Stay tuned. All right, we are getting ready to hop in here. Very wisely letting the teams know that we're getting a member of the winning team onto Discord. Thank you very much for sorting that out for me. Much appreciated, oh.
Of course, like we want to talk to these guys, especially after this series. Like, okay, going into it, I was a little bit scared because Reunited looked so good earlier today, and I thought, okay, Creation have already maybe tilted a little bit. Maybe